All right, the worst thing could happen for me. I don't think it's as easy as being like, oh, Caleb Williams is not the guy. I think it would be back on the roller coaster, very up and down, and then week 18, chance to make the playoffs against the Packers, and he does his nails, and then like epically lose, and Jordan Love goes and wins the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be it. That'd be pretty bad. That'd be pretty bad. On today's Part of My Take, we have a twofer for the people. We got our good friend Pete Prisco previewing the NFL season, which is one day away. And then we have an awesome interview with Forrest Galante, who actually we had an interview on the old Barstool Gold days, so a lot of people probably didn't hear it. Really fascinating dude. He basically travels the world searching for animals, extinct animals, animals that we haven't seen in hundreds of years. Swims with sharks. Really, really cool interview in person. Like one of those ones that you walk away and you're like, damn, that was very interesting.
He's in the Naked and Afraid Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's in the Naked and Afraid Hall of Fame. We also have the Re-Duel, Mt Rushmore Re-Duel after both those interviews to finally put an end to the Mt Rushmore season. We're going to do the Mt Rushmore, and then we are going to find out who lost right after, and we've already had the punishments as well, so listen to all of that. We're going to do our annual NFL head coaches draft, where we draft what coaches we think are good coaches, and we're going to talk a little preview for the season, maybe pick some NFL awards and our Super Bowl champ, and it's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. NFL Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Fans have spoken. We want to bet on touchdowns. DraftKings heard us and is delivering. DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly, plus 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Offer ends 9/19 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app use code TAKE now. That's code TAKE for new customers. Get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Offer ends 9/19 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Wednesday, September 4th. And boys, we are a mere hours away from the NFL season kicking off. We're, if you're listening to this in the morning, we're about 36 hours away. It's back. We're ready.
It's NFL Eve.
It's NFL Eve, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, all rolled up into one. I'm ready.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
I'm too excited.
Yeah.
I'm too excited. I found that I've been just pulling random people aside and having conversations with them, and they always roll back to like Jaden Daniels. And I'm always saying the same thing. My analysis of Jaden Daniels is identical every time. He's so good.
Yeah.
And that's all I've been talking to people about. And I feel like this is the year it all turns around.
Yeah. And we have the Thursday night game, the Friday night game, full slate Sunday.
Yeah. A great Monday night nightcap.
Yeah. Where we might lose a member of the show.
Yeah. Memes. Have you purchased the bomb making supplies just in case?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's probably smart.
That is smart. So we have our Pete Prisco preview. We did our Dan Orlovsky preview yesterday. We got to do a preview of our own. Should we start? Maybe we end with the coaches draft, or should we start with the coaches draft? Let's do the coaches draft.
You want to do it right off the bat? That was a quick turnaround for starter end.
Yeah, because I realized that the coaches draft is fun, and we can it helps preview everything. So we did this last year.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted every NFL head coach, basically who you trust, who you believe in. and we'll post it. It's not a Mount Rushmore because it's 8 picks each, but it will be a poll that people can vote on at the end and see who has the best 8-pack of NFL head coaches. How do we want to start? Who wants to go first? Max, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, PFT, why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go first, and then we'll go.
Max.
Are we doing snake?
We're going snake.
Okay, so it'll be me, Max, Hank, Big Cat, then back around.
Yes. So this is your number one head coach because you have the first pick.
Number one head coach. Many would say the best coach of all time, or at least in the conversation.
Yeah.
Andy Reid.
Yes.
Andy Reid.
Good pick.
Great coach. Looks good in shorts.
I keep going back to just the Chiefs are going to win it all again.
I feel like this is all leading towards the same conclusion. I'm not going to pick the Chiefs.
I think I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
I will end up betting on the Chiefs, but I don't think I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah. I just they're I don't know what's going to stop them.
It's almost like the more distractions they get in Kansas City, the better they get.
Yeah. And
they have the ability to take all the distractions and actually become more focused.
And the minute you get to the point where you're just saying, "Oh, well, they're just tired of winning," that's probably why they won't win. That's not a real reason.
Not a real one. No.
Not at all. Okay, Max.
I am gonna go with.
This is good that we're detoxing from Mount Rushmore season by doing a draft.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's totally different.
Yeah,
it's totally
way different. I'm gonna go with Jim Harbaugh.
Ooh,
right off the bat.
Okay, hasn't coached the NFL in a while. But obviously,
national champion,
three NFC championships, a Super Bowl appearance,
friend of the program,
3 NFC championship appearances. Yeah, good friend of the program.
You think he's going to miss having Connor?
He doesn't know him.
I also think there's a chance he could have Connor.
Yeah,
we don't know. Okay, Hank.
I'm going to go with another good friend of the program, Super Bowl champion. Third longest tenured NFL coach, John Harbaugh.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with a different friend of the program. Good pick. I was gonna possibly pick him. All right, so I'll go with the smart kids. In the same division, I'll take Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan back to back. Kyle Shanahan, this is a big year for him.
Yeah, it feels like this is. He's got a lot of baggage. A lot of emotional baggage. He's had some tough losses.
If you want, though, you can make the correlation. Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time. For a long time, Andy Reid was Kyle Shanahan, where he was on the Eagles, had a lot of really good teams, couldn't get over the hump. Mm-hmm. Kind of goes back to what I always think is good as a coach is. It's always about the quarterback because he got Patrick Mahomes and Kyle Shanahan. He took Jimmy G to a Super Bowl. That actually might be bigger than a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That might be more impressive than a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I love Kyle Shanahan. Like, I think almost every team, if maybe there might be 1 or 2 teams that would take him over their current head coach if everything was equal that we've already said.
Yeah.
He's that good.
He is. But he if he can, maybe Brock Purdy is the quarterback, but that really is, it's funny how it goes down. Like Andy Reid, if he just retired after the Eagles, be like, yeah, he was a good coach, never won anything big. And then he has Patrick Mahomes in his life and he starts winning big.
Yep.
Okay, Hank.
I'm going to stick with hard-nosed football. Mike Tomlin.
Good pick.
Nice pick.
Great pick.
I had him on next on my board.
We're about to fall off a cliff.
I'm going to go with another vet in the game. Hasn't figured out with this team quite yet, but I think he will. Sean Payton.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
It was a horrible draft for Max.
It's a tough love kind of guy.
Yeah.
Max doesn't really know good coaches, though.
Yeah. Bad draft. Okay. PFT got 2.
Okay. I'm going to go with Dan Campbell.
Good pick.
Dan Campbell.
Good
Great
pick.
coach.
Good pick.
Love what he's building up there in Detroit.
Yeah. Good pick. That's a good pick.
And we talk about Dan Campbell with Pete Prisco. I think Pete's wrong about Dan.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we're right about Dan.
Yes.
Next, I'm going to go Kevin Stefanski for the show.
Coach of the year twice?
I think is he? Because the coach of the year, it's funny. It's like
Matt Nagy won a coach of the year.
You could give it every year to Bill Belichick when he was in the league or Andy Reid. But it's usually a guy that makes the playoffs that you don't think is going to make the playoffs.
2-time coach of the year.
Which is funny because you could also make the same claim that Kevin Stefanski might be underrated as a head coach.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a very, very good head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not bias.
Did he get a dog for his kids yet?
I don't know.
I need to know about that.
Follow up with that. Okay. Maxie.
I will go Mike McDaniel.
Okay. What about Mike McDaniel in under 40-degree weather?
That's the word I'm looking for.
You can find it.
A good point.
Yeah, you can find it.
No, random. They say in the court of law, it's random.
That was the word you were looking for?
No, there's a
Random?
Erroneous?
Objection?
Erroneous. Does that make sense?
Erroneous.
What do
Mike McDaniel, he's
describe
good,
what
fun
you're trying to
offense.
say.
He's got a fun offense.
Erroneous.
And it doesn't. And that the cold weather doesn't show his actual coaching prowess.
Okay.
Okay.
This is stressing me out. There's too many names.
I know.
There's so many names.
It's the best part. Okay. Hank.
I'm going to go with a guy they kept around for a reason. He must be good. Matt Eberflus.
Troll pick.
Good pick, Hank.
Troll pick. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you did there.
They kept him around for a reason. He has to be good.
In the fourth round?
Yeah, but
I see what you did there.
if you guys are going to be winning football,
All right.
you have to have a good coach.
Relax. Troll pick. Okay.
I don't understand how you could be selling yourself so high on the Bears but not be high on the head coach.
Because it's the players. Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. You ever heard that saying?
So then we should be doing just a fantasy draft.
Well, in Big Cat's mind, what's happened this offseason is Matt Eberflus has said, I'm only going to do defense.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, Shane
He's not
Waldron's
good.
got the offense.
He's not going to do any offense, game management. I don't know who's going to take over in that department.
You won't even have to manage
You know
the
what?
games.
He'll have figured it out this offseason.
Yeah, I have question marks. There's question marks. We'll find out. Hey, listen, I wanted Jim Harbaugh. I recruited Jim Harbaugh. My recruiting fell short. All right, let's go with Matt LaFleur, friend of the program, and a guy I'm very high on, D'Amico Ryans.
Oh, I had both those guys.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, so I'm going with the young guns.
Okay, I like that.
A lot of the young guns. Hank, this is where we fall off a cliff.
I don't think so. I've been sold a lot on this guy.
Oh, I was saying more just in the fact that we can't remember who we picked.
Oh, yeah. This is another guy, big expectations. He's a veteran in the league. Dan Quinn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're kind of the back-to-back troll. So Matt Eberflus better coach than Dan Quinn, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you picked him earlier.
Turn your hat backwards when you say that, Hank. What do you like about Dan Quinn?
Defensive, hard-nosed, gritty. He's going to get the players going.
Yeah.
Great offense.
Back. Yeah. Great offense.
Went to a Super Bowl.
Went to a Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
Had a 25-point lead in a Super Bowl.
Against, one of the best teams of all time.
That's very hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
How many teams?
Kind of like Kyle Shanahan taking Jimmy G. Those actually should be Super Bowl.
How many teams, and those two guys are not related whatsoever in that
Nope.
Super Bowl, Dan
Nope.
Quinn and Kyle Shanahan.
Not at all.
With Dan Quinn building that 25-point lead against one of the greatest teams ever and the greatest player ever, that should actually count as two Super Bowls.
Two Super Bowls.
That's so hard to do.
Super Bowls. Okay.
Multi-time Super Bowl winning coach Dan Quinn, kind of.
Yeah. Max is in the booth. He's taking off his shoes and socks to try to count to 10 here.
It's stressful. There's a lot going on.
Every time I look up, he's just freaking out.
Well, there's so many names. I thought we were just going to do 4, and then all of the names really just got to me. I'm going to get ahead of Hank's troll picks, and I'll go Nick Sirianni.
Okay, that's smart. You blocked the troll. How are you feeling about Nick Sirianni?
All in. He's going to be a leader of men this year. We got good guys around him. This is the year. This is the year that he gets it done.
It's actually funny
the
because
leader of men this year.
the five
Yes.
of us.
Not in past years.
Last year he didn't do a great job leading men, but this year he's back leading men.
What's the most important part about leading a man?
Just showing a good example of what it's like to be a man.
Okay.
Such as?
So would you say Dom is
Crying?
the head coach then?
No, but having a good guy like that by your side shows that you know good guys to be around.
But if you have Dom next to you, everyone's going to look and they're like, hey, there's Nick Sirianni and Dom. That's a man.
Yeah.
That's a whatever it is.
It's a
I'm
team.
gonna
It's a
lead.
team game. It's not one person. It's just like showing a good surrounding in the organization of leadership, and Nick Sirianni's at the head of that.
Not Dom.
Dom's right there. He's always next to him.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're looking at Sirianni, you're also looking at Dom.
But also with Nick Sirianni, it's like,
You can't look at Nick Sirianni without looking at Dom.
He's always there.
but Nick Sirianni can't be a man without a real man behind him.
Correct.
It's like, I have to have my.
But that's
I have to have
Nick's-
my dad follows me around
Yeah,
just in case I get into any trouble.
Nick Sirianni's basically one of those TikTokers that goes to the mall and tries to fight people, and then their security guard steps in.
It's like Robin Big.
Yeah.
No, but it takes good leadership to know that good leadership
That you
should
need
be
a
around.
you need a bodyguard at all times.
Right. Yep.
It takes someone who's very honest about themselves not being a man to admit they
That's
need a
not
bigger
what I
man.
said. That's not what I said.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Big Dom.
Okay.
For next. I'm gonna go with Big Dom, and then I will take.
Are we allowing Big
No,
Dom?
we're not allowing
Yeah.
Big Dom.
We should. Okay, I'll take. I'm gonna go with Zach Taylor.
People forget.
People forget about Zach Taylor.
They do.
I think he's a very good coach.
I do
He
too.
kind of flies under the radar in Cincinnati a little bit, and he did a good job without Joe Burrow
Yeah.
when he was hurt.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good coach. Next up, I'm going to go with Doug Peterson,
Super Bowl winner.
Super Bowl winner. He won a Super
that was my
Bowl.
next pick.
Yeah, a lot of people say that it couldn't be done in Philly. Doug Peterson did it,
Super Bowl winner. Good
No,
pick.
that's a good
and
pick.
then they ran him out of town.
Yeah.
No. You shouldn't have. You're a good guy. I'm going to go with Shane Steichen.
Good pick.
That's a good pick.
Good pick. Good pick.
Has anyone taken Antonio Pierce?
No.
And I will do that.
Good pick.
Friend of the program. Gonna
Okay.
have those boys fired up.
Okay. I will go with no, I don't want him. Oh, I'll go with a newcomer. We don't know what he is yet, but if we're basing it off of his defense last year, I think he's going to be a very good head coach. I'll take Mike McDonald,
Yep.
Seattle Seahawks head
Good pick.
coach. I think he's going to be a very good head coach. And then I will also take this is where I'm lost. Oh, you know what? Friend of the program. Some of the seasons haven't gone very well at the end, but he's got his team competing every single year. 4 AFC East championships. Sean McDermott.
Good pick.
They've won 4 AFC East championships.
Yeah, and if you look at what the Bills were before McDermott compared to with him, obviously Josh Allen made a big difference too. But he's done a good job when he's not making 9/11 references.
He's 73-41 as a head coach.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good in the NFL, in the National Football League.
I will go with a newcomer, unknown, but based on his defense last year, I think he's going to be good. Jared Mayo.
Oh,
Okay,
nice. You got all the guys. Nice.
good pick, Hank.
Memes is just sitting
Couldn't help
there.
but notice that you took Antonio Pierce before Mayo.
And Matt Eberflus and Dan Quinn.
Yeah, what's interesting about Pierce is Pierce actually.
Well, Matt Eberflus
Well,
is
Pierce, you-
kept him around for a reason.
and you know that
Dan Quinn
I hate you
went to a
so
Super Bowl.
much. I hate you so much.
and you know that
Antonio Pierce came on the show. If Mayo came on the show, I would have taken him before.
Well, Antonio Pierce was such a good player that he beat maybe the best team of all time in the Super Bowl. You remember that?
I do. He did beat probably the best team of all time in the Super Bowl.
Well, that means they're actually not the best team of all time
because
he
he
lost.
beat
So
him.
I said probably.
Yeah. Okay, Max.
This is where I think that I screwed something up. Someone picked Kevin O'Connell, right?
No,
No?
you got him.
That's
I
good value.
I
That's
had him
good
on
value.
my list. I had him on my
That
list.
is a good pick.
I think he's a very good coach.
Don't we all have every person on our list?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at just the Wikipedia of list of current NFL quarterback or coaches.
We had him on our list.
I freaked out. I just started writing everyone's name down. I've been crossing things. I'm like Charlie from Always Sunny right now with this list.
You're like Memento.
I'm flustered.
Kevin O'Connell's a good coach,
Yeah,
and I think if Sam Darnold, this is going to be the year, 7-year bump.
we spaced on Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah,
That's all that was.
I was looking at his name. But Sean McDermott has done more in the NFL. Okay. PFT, you have 2 picks.
I get 2 picks now.
And then we're getting to the end.
Yeah, we are getting to the end right now.
There's a big fat elephant in the room.
I know, and I don't want to take him. I'm going to go with Raheem Morris.
Okay.
Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to be spicy this year.
I do
Raheem
too.
Morris, he had a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots at one point.
Yes.
People forget that.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm going to take him, and then I'm going to go with Brian Callahan.
Nice. I like Brian Callahan.
I like-
Also, AWL.
Is he really?
Yes.
I like Brian Callahan a lot. Obviously, hasn't done anything as a head coach yet, but it's him. You get him and his dad.
Yeah.
As a package deal, both Callahans, big Tom, little Brian. I don't know. His dad's probably not Tom Callahan.
No.
That's Tommy Boy I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
Big
But
Tom
See off the
Callahan's.
board.
But his dad is maybe the best offensive line coach in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Okay. There's like 3 names that I don't want to pick that I'm just hoping I can play it correctly.
Just hold your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Gannon.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew.
Explosives.
He was underratedly not that bad last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually am high on the Cardinals
Yeah.
offense this year. I think it's going to be fun watch. Very fun watch. Hank?
Listen, fellas, winning a Super Bowl in this league is tough.
Oh, he's doing it.
You need someone with Super Bowl winning
Cowboys fan
experience.
stands up.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone that's had that experience. He's gonna, get the boys through the long playoff run. Mike McCarthy.
Long playoff run.
Good one.
I don't think he's ever been on a long run.
Long playoff run. Okay. This is fun.
How are you guys doing this without
This is
crossing
fun.
names out? I would,
Because I'm just looking at who we were doing it.
but how do you just remember that?
Listening.
All right, I'm
Because
gonna
there's certain
I'm gonna,
guys that we don't want to take, and
Yeah,
we're just
yeah,
hoping
yeah.
that somebody else takes them.
I'm gonna pick one of probably the most vocal, boisterous guys out there. Leader of men, Todd Bowles. Back-to-back NFC South championships. Anyone?
Yeah, Todd Bowles, he used to be one of the top 10 coaches in the league.
Yeah, he did. He used to be. And then you know what? I'll do it just for memesy. I'll take Robert Salah. Bald head. I think Robert Salah would have been fired if he didn't have a bald head.
You think if he had hair?
I think if he had hair, he would have already been fired. I think the bald head, you just see it, and it's like power.
Is it too
It's
intimidating?
shiny bald. Yeah, I just think there's something about him, the aura.
Yeah, I think that you've noticed this in the offseason with Salah. He's had it. He's like sick of talking to people about
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he's got to win for his own mental health.
Like
which I like a coach backed in the corner.
Yeah, he's definitely in that fight or flight right now. And it seems like everything that's been going on with the team has been nothing to do with actual football. And so he's wishing that somebody would ask him a question. He's missing the days about answering relentless questions about Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. He misses that. He's sick of talking about where his quarterback going to Egypt and a guy that's on the team that's not on the team. He just wants to be able to like get mad at the media for treating his quarterback unfairly.
Yes, I'd agree. Okay, Hank, last round.
I think there's a better bald-headed coach in New York with championship experience. Brian Dable.
Okay.
You see, Brian Dable is taking back play calling responsibilities this year.
Oh.
Just announced that.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if this was a thing that happened earlier in the offseason they agreed on, or if it was like the preseason sucked. So that would be a panic move if they flipped it up right now. But yeah, he's back calling plays, which is, if you look at the trajectory, I'm not saying he's going to be fired. I like Brian Dable, but the trajectory of a coach who's on his way to being fired, it does involve the play calling duties going back and forth.
Yeah. Brian Dable has 6 rings.
Stud.
Pretty crazy.
Stud.
5 Super Bowls and the college football national champion for Alabama in 2017. Stud. Brian Dable should remake the MJ picture with his rings. That'd be cool. Okay, there's 2 left.
I'm gonna go with Dave Canales.
Okay, PFT got the stinky one.
I watched a clip of him on X yesterday talking about whether he was going to go with a bell cow approach or a committee approach at running back, and that's what I got on him. That was
big.
the first time I'd seen the man's face, and I'd be like, "Who's this guy?" And then I was like, "Oh, this is the Panthers."
And the Cuck book.
Yeah, the Cook book. He wrote a book about cheating on his wife.
Yep, love it.
We actually should do.
Wait, don't love it.
You don't.
Well, no,
You don't love him apologizing for cheating on his wife?
it was apology book.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, dude, my
Yeah.
wife doesn't even know I'm writing this book.
Yeah, I read the first chapter of it, which was like, listen, I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I was in my wife's friend's bed, and I don't know how it happened.
No, fake news. That doesn't mean cheating.
So we're taking Dave Canales over Dennis Allen. Be honest, did you forget about Dennis Allen, Max?
No, I had him on here. I honestly saw that he was the coach for 5 years of the Saints, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's just kind of
He's
been
like a big nothing guy.
he's
Oh, he's
kinda-
nothing. He's got no
yeah.
picture on Wikipedia.
He's just been kind of
Yeah.
there.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He's a total nothing.
Can you imagine living in New Orleans for 5 years and not doing anything noteworthy at all?
It's crazy. He's just, and his name is boring too.
Yeah.
It's 2 first names. Just like, oh yeah, Dennis Allen. Like if you polled 100 people, I think the majority would still say Sean Payton.
You think so?
Yeah, if you did like one of those drunk Nashville videos.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like they've been 10 guys in New Orleans making the decisions, and then Allen is just the guy that stands on the sidelines nodding his head.
Yeah, figurehead. Okay, that was a good draft.
Yeah.
Got me pumped up for the season.
I'm very excited. I'm going to read this Dave Canales book.
Yeah. All right, so what else do we want to do? Any other predictions?
Book report. I'll do a book report on it.
I liked the idea, PFT. We should do a round of just what's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
For each of us. Do we want to do that? It's scary.
Yeah.
Confront your fears, though.
Or should we do it for each other?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
What if Hank just says it?
Yeah,
for all
Hank,
of
do
us?
it for all of us.
Hater Hank, yeah.
Hater
No,
Hank,
no,
for
no,
all
no.
of
I'm
us.
not.
No, Hank, you're good at this.
Most devastating thing that could happen to us as a fan.
I'll do. No, you guys have to do it for yourselves. Look within yourself. You want to get mad at me, but you need to look deep within and face your irrational fears that you guys have set upon yourselves for this season. Okay. And I'll start. PFT alluded to it. I think the worst case scenario for the Patriots this year is 8 wins.
Oh, you motherfucker. That was such a tricky thing you did. Oh, you played it well. You played that well.
Would be like, I'm going into the season. We got to rebuild. If you're going to rebuild, you guys know.
No, you can recalibrate.
It starts with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm recalibrating.
8 wins wouldn't get us to the playoffs. It wouldn't get us a good draft position. It would just be a little bit of too much of a tease.
Actually, that's not a bad point. Except you are rebuilding and you've got a young quarterback. But going 8-9 when you have like an established quarterback, that's the worst thing that can happen.
What about 9 wins?
It's still not playoffs.
What about 10 wins?
If we make it to the playoffs, and then anything can happen.
Right.
You get in the dance.
Right. So 8 wins. That's
wins.
a good pick. It's a good pick, PFT.
I'm gonna say the stadium falling apart and critically injuring Jaden Daniels.
That would be devastating.
Like having shit come out of the showers and him getting MRSA, whatever it is. Both realistic things that could happen at FedEx Field. Oh, excuse me, Northwest Federal Credit Union Field.
Mm-hmm.
Northwest. They're calling it the Fed, which I think is a kind of a shitty nickname, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, the worst thing could happen for me. I don't think it's as easy as being like, oh, Caleb Williams is not the guy. I think it would be back on the roller coaster, very up and down, and then week 18, chance to make the playoffs against the Packers, and he does his nails, and then like epically lose, and Jordan Love goes and wins the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be it. That'd be pretty bad. That'd be pretty bad. That would be, yeah. But like not like, oh, he's just bad. It's like the roller coaster of back and forth where it's like there's just more bad than good.
Justin Fields.
If the defense keeps you in games and like Caleb Williams isn't really showing a ton.
Yeah. And then that week 18 scenario would be a nightmare. Like the Packers, maybe it's week 18. The Lions have already clinched the NFC North, so it's week 18 for the last wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Packers get it and go on a run and win the Super Bowl.
Or what if
our wild card spot?
What if the Steelers go on a run with Justin Fields?
I'm rooting. Well, I want Justin Fields to play because then our draft pick gets better.
Yeah. But if Justin Fields won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, how would you feel about that?
I'd be happy for Justin.
I don't think that's.
I'd be very happy for Justin. I'd be very happy for Justin. I'd be extremely happy for Justin.
I don't think that might actually make you log off.
I'd be happy for Justin.
I think you.
There's two things about me. I love Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ben the dog. Two things.
Yeah.
About me. You can put those two in the back.
I think you would log off. I think you would actually. You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't even do the fake hack thing. You would seek out a scheme and get hacked on purpose.
The first one is worse than the second one. Justin Fields winning a Super Bowl would hurt way less than Jordan Love taking the Bears playoff spot and then winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be way more painful.
Yeah.
Way, way more painful. Justin Fields would hurt, but I would just be like, I'd be the meme with the smiley face crying behind it and being like, I love Justin Fields. He's a great dude. I'm so happy for him. That's just what I would say over and over until I had a nervous breakdown. Max.
We don't actually believe that these things are
No,
going
it's
to happen.
the worst thing that could happen for you.
I think it's simply if Jalen Hurts can't have another bad year.
Yeah.
He has to have a good year.
Yeah.
You think would it be worse if he had like an average year?
Would you rather have a good year and lose in the Super Bowl or have a bad year?
That's what I'm saying. Or he gets to the Super Bowl and you lose again.
Right now, I'm going to say losing the Super Bowl because then it's like, all right, now you know, like he got to the Super Bowl twice. He's a Super Bowl.
Then he becomes can't win the big one.
But can't win the big one's not a terrible spot to be.
It's pretty bad. Ask Dan Marino that.
Ask Peyton Manning that.
Yeah, but then he won the big one.
Yeah, correct.
But what if he
not
stays?
Not at this
what
point
if
in
he
his
stays
career?
and can't
We're
win the
saying
big
this
one?
year.
But what if he could never win the big one?
We're saying this year.
Do you think he enjoyed the phase of his career where he couldn't win the big one?
But that's not worse than him like playing badly and then you're like, oh shit, this was our guy that we have, because he's going to play well enough that you're not going to be in a rebuilding situation. Like he needs to be good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Okay. This is a big year for this podcast in football.
Yeah.
Outside of Hank.
I think
he's on autopilot.
This is a huge, for the Eagles, it's like a make or break year. Like if they.
Yeah, no, it is a make or break year.
Like at least your two teams, it's like you have young. I mean, Hank's team fucking sucks. But like your two teams, at least it's like, okay, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles could just take it. I don't think this is gonna happen, but we're talking worst case scenario. Like it could be bad of like going in the wrong direction.
This could be a bad year in Philadelphia.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And it scares me. Hank, you're going nowhere. Hank.
That's fine. Going to the top of the draft. Just won an NBA championship. 6 Super Bowls. We're chilling.
The funny thing is that no matter how bad things get, I think Memes has the most rock bottom worst case scenario by far. I mean, he'd become a terrorist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Memes, outside of having to kill yourself with a suicide vest, what's the worst thing that could happen this year?
Just him getting hurt at all. Because I think even if he sucks, it's better than watching Tim Boyle. That season last year was the worst season of all time.
Tyrod, though.
Do you know what the craziest thing about, like, in the eve of the NFL season, the craziest thing that can be said right now for this podcast? Because you know what me and PFT think about our guys. You know, Max is very excited. He thinks what happened at the end of last year is not going to happen again.
I don't know that Max is excited though.
I think he's excited.
I think he's nervous.
He might be nervous.
I think he's got nerves going into this season.
But the craziest thing, I think Memes is by far and away the most confident person in his team, and his team is the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean the roster's loaded.
Yeah, Memes is like, this is going to be an incredible team.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't...
He might be right.
It doesn't sound good, though, saying the worst possible scenario is that if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt at all. Because he's 40 years old, basically 41. And...
almost 42.
Just banking on him not ever getting hurt seems like you're setting yourself up for devastation.
No, he's not. He's just not going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Memes is the wildest fan. Like, Memes always thinks best case scenario at all. Like, he tells me every single day that the Mets are going to win the NL East.
They could still come back.
Mm-hmm. To win the NL East?
Yeah,
yes.
They play the Phillies 7 times. They're down 7.5.
How many games are they down? 7.5?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just got to win all of them.
Yep.
Okay. All right, anything else before we do Hot Seat, Cool Throne? Do you want to go Super Bowl winners?
Want to do MVPs?
I have Matt Stafford. It's off the board. I mean, it's not off the board, but it's a little bit of a dark horse.
I got Jared Goff.
I like that.
So do I.
I got Jared Goff. So here's a fun stat about Jared Goff. 14 out of his 17 games are in a dome.
Mm-hmm. He's a lot of dome. He
Dome
loves
boy.
dome.
He loves dome. It's going to be Dome Fest.
Yeah. I like that pick.
And what are his odds? I think they're like 25 to 1, something like that. 30 to 1.
Yeah, he only has like 3 bad weather games, or maybe it's 2 bad weather games because one of the third, I can't remember.
He's got the 2 NFC North games.
Right, and they're later in the season. I can't remember what the other outdoor game was. But yeah, and if they're the number 1 seed, you just play the whole season in a dome, which would be awesome for our friend Jared. So the third outdoor game is against the 49ers. So that won't
That's
be
not bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah. He plays the Bears in December, late December, and he plays the Packers in early December.
I got something fun to be on.
Sorry, actually the Packers are in early November, so that might not even be bad weather either.
So I was thinking about comeback player of the year. right? Because it feels like if you'd asked me like 3 weeks ago, it felt like Aaron Rodgers. Seems like he would be the shoo-in for comeback player of the year. Now we've got a couple wild cards. Ricky Pearsall from the 49ers.
Yep.
Got shot during an attempted robbery in San Francisco. Got the gun from the guy. Shot the guy that was trying to rob him.
He got shot through the chest.
Got shot through the chest and then shot the robber. And he goes to the hospital. He's out 24 hours later. The next day, he's at the facility working out.
Shot through the chest. I don't even understand that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that seems like a comeback player.
Seems like he's a dog.
Yeah.
Seems like he's a dog. And then I was reminded that Tank Dell also got shot this offseason.
Yep.
And he's fine. So now you've got two guys who got shot battling for comeback player of the year potentially at wide receiver. But Pearsall got shot through the chest. And he shot the guy that shot him.
What about a couple other, what about Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins,
what
not
about
bad.
Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
There's a
We
lot
got
of
stacked field.
Yeah, when we had a lot of injuries last year. Anthony Richardson.
If Anthony Richardson gets hurt this season, and I don't want him to, and Flacco gets in and goes on a run, could Flacco win back-to-back comeback players of the year?
He could. I think he could. DeMar Hamlin could.
Yeah.
Still.
Coming back from the punt.
Yeah, I mean, we lost so many quarterbacks last year that this is a stacked field. Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert, could he? Why not?
Yeah.
Comeback player of the year. I'm looking right now. Sam Darnold's listening. Oh, Nick Chubb. About Nick Chubb.
He probably won't be back until like midway through the season.
I heard different reports.
What you heard?
I heard from an insider.
Careful,
this
HIPAA.
might be because I drafted him in the fantasy league that he's the commissioner of, but I heard that Nick Chubb, if he could have played as early as week 1 with a few touches.
Okay.
But they thought it'd be safer just to put him on the pup.
So your inside information is that he feels good.
Could play right now.
Could play right now.
Could play right now. Report it.
A couple touches.
Could play right now. Right now. Like right this second. If we're like, hey, Nick Chubb, carry this football. Done.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna go with the gunshot guys.
Yeah.
I feel like Ricky Pierce. That's just a crazy story.
Crazy. And he's a rookie, so he just has to have like a average rookie season to be comeback player of the year.
So yeah, can you come back? Can you get comeback player of the year as a rookie?
I don't know.
I think you can if you're coming back from being shot in the chest.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think so.
I think so. He got shot
Just
through
rookie of the year.
Through the chest. Through the chest. All right, what's your Super Bowl picks? I have Chiefs over Lions.
I got Lions over Chiefs.
Oh, like that. I'd much prefer that.
Eagles over Chiefs.
Oh, little revenge.
It'll be the same story arc as
Same
Eagles,
story
Patriots.
arc. The
Eagles,
the
Patriots.
Tickets, 2 tickets that you.
No,
that
story arc will be different.
No.
That story arc
No.
will be different.
If the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, we're doing the same deal. You're going to get drunk the night before. You're going to drink champagne. You're going to wear the pants. We're going to make fun of you. We're going to throw your phone in the water.
You're going to puke on yourself in a cab.
We're literally just going to play it back. People love the first version.
I think the city of Philadelphia would legitimately murder me. I think they would assassinate.
We made
me.
him put on the pants.
I mean, but what a story that would be. It's like Max has the opportunity to either win a Super Bowl or probably get killed.
Yeah, that's a high stakes story. Hank, you're a Super Bowl.
I kind of had what PFT had, so I don't want to copy it. I'll think of best case content for this show.
Bills
losing to the Packers.
Oh,
Why? Why is that best case?
Because listen. There's a theme. Hank's had it out for me this week. I think what it is as soon as Hank is blaming the end of summer on me. I think that's what it is.
No, that's just a fact.
Like,
that's the best
we had
case
Tyler Van
content for the
Dyke
show.
yesterday.
I don't.
The Matt Eberflus.
The Wisconsin thing was coincidence. I just happened to be watching that game.
I am now
Eberflus
being held accountable
for
the calendar changing. I think that's what's happening.
I don't think the Bears, best case obviously would be the Bears or the Commanders making the Super Bowl. I don't think they're there yet.
Okay.
A couple years away.
What about Matt Eberflus?
Both Dan Quinn and Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, we kept them around for a reason.
Right, but I don't think a rookie QB that'd be impressive. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. So for the content's sake of the show, I guess Eagles losing, Who'd be good for the Eagles to lose to? Eagles losing to the Bills would be great.
What about Eagles losing to the Jets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Memes.
right.
That would Super Bowl. That would be the two. I mean, we would all have to go to the Super Bowl with them.
Yeah.
And just sit there and just watch them.
That would get awkward.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It would get uncomfortable.
In the booth?
Yeah.
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 It would be great. Holy shit. We would just flip. Good. We'd flip all the cameras for like a couple weeks afterwards, where the show is like we're just sitting here, we're the booth, and you guys are the show. Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that would
Hank,
be great.
What a pick. Okay, Memes, what's your pick?
Jets Eagles.
Okay, great pick. That's such a good pick. You guys are uncomfortable right now thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit uncomfortable too because you know what Max would do to Memes.
What?
It'd be bad.
No, I think memes would make me angrier. Or
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you do something bad.
We'd probably fight.
yeah, it would get bad.
It would get physical?
Max, you know
it would be awkward.
I'm going to say
like
right now, I don't have the power to do this, but I'll talk to Dave. I think that if the Jets and Eagles play in the Super Bowl, I think physicality's allowed. Like we'll just rip up the contracts in like a 1 week. Like if one of you punches the other person, that no repercussions. Physicality's allowed.
Or they have to watch the Super Bowl with giant inflatable boxing gloves.
Yeah.
At all times. Or no, like they grease up the light poles in Philly, we'll just grease Memes up. So you can't really get a good
Yeah. I mean, it would be a good story for the show where it's just like, yeah, remember when the Eagles and Jets played in the Super Bowl and Memes and Max got in a fist fight?
That would be no good. I would be.
I want to see you guys fight so bad.
That'd be no good.
Oh, all right.
Do we want to do least improved player?
Yeah, least improved player.
Dak.
I like that.
I just don't think it's not going to be any different. He's going to be fine.
Make a graphic for our whole show.
Least improved player. Part of my take. Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. yes. Perfect. We have 5 votes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season.
No, he's just not going to improve
at all.
Yeah.
Unanimous on the graphic.
Unanimous
decision.
First ever unanimous vote.
Yeah.
Hank, do you agree?
I was thinking Jalen Hurts, but I'm fine with unanimous.
Okay.
Oh, Jalen Hurts.
Oh, damn. You just ruined a unanimous.
He had
I'm fine with it.
He had my second place vote.
Yeah. All right, let's do hot seat, cool throw, and then we'll get to our interviews. We got more football with Pete Prisco, and then an awesome interview with Forrest Galante. Hot seat, cool throw, and presented by Coors Light. Fans of even the biggest rivals agree on one thing: the mountain cold refreshment of Coors Light. When rivalries start to heat up this season, choose chill and reach for a Coors Light. To keep things cool, rivalry getting a little overheated, choose chill with Coors Light. When you're looking to keep it chill, there's only one beer to choose. Choose Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when the beer is cold, so you know when your mountain cold refreshment is ready for you to choose chill. When things heat up, choose chill and then open up a Coors Light. Even the biggest rivalries agree when it's time to choose chill or to cool things down and enjoy the game. You choose chill and reach for a Coors Light. Jets, Eagles. New rivalry just created in the booth. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart or GoPuff by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. The coldest beer in the world, the best beer in the world. Coors Light. Hank, your hot seat, cool throw.
My hot seat is the USC Trojans.
Oh.
College football is back. College football hype videos are back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And USC posted a video before their game where they were in a Trojan horse, but USC was inside the Trojan horse.
Okay.
But the Trojan horse story is how the Greeks used the Trojan horse to defeat the Trojans.
Yeah. I got you. But they're taking it back.
So USC did a video where the Trojans were in a Trojan horse going to defeat
the Greeks?
The Greeks?
Or Notre Dame or whoever it was. But that didn't...
LSU
didn't make any sense.
College football expert.
Yeah, that's interesting, but it's like they learned from their mistake, so now they developed it as their own weapon.
Yeah.
But why would the Trojans deliver who wants a Trojan gift if you're not a Trojan?
True.
Yeah, if you brought the Greeks a bunch of like a Trojan horse, they'd be like, we've got like 7 Trojan horses back there. We use one in each war.
Yeah.
We know this trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the dumbest prank to ever succeed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take this giant horse for some reason that you're dropping off.
Oh, yeah, I want this horse in my house.
I'll put it right in the middle of our town.
Makes no sense.
And then we're all going to get drunk and celebrate and pass out around the horse like Burning Man.
Yeah, the Trojans deserve to lose that one.
Yeah, they got the wool pulled over their eyes. I thought for a long time that the Statue of Liberty was a Trojan horse from France.
Oh.
And I think that they just didn't find the exit, so there's like thousands of dead French skeletons inside.
I like that idea. Yeah. I think that might be true. You might be onto something.
I think so.
Are you Cool Throne?
My Cool Throne's U.S. Open.
Oh.
We do talk a lot about how bad some sports are set up. I like the way the U.S. Open is set up, where they do it at the end of last week going into Labor Day. It's on during Labor Day, but it's not the big matches, so it's like you can kind of watch as you're going. And then it ramps up, like it's on today, it's on tomorrow, it's on Thursday, and then the big matches are this weekend.
Yeah. By the way,
it's good, the little wean off of football weekend. It's like there's tennis on all day.
They do play during college football Saturday, which I know you don't care about, but that is the final for the women's. So like you're trying to watch Kent State, Pittsburgh, and they're just that's crazy. Also, correction from Tuesday's show, the FedEx Cup Championship actually was a week late this year because of the Olympics. So it is usually a week before.
Smart.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Our bad.
Yep.
Our bad.
Emma Navarro is in the semifinals. The American. You remember her? She took the selfie with LeBron at the Olympics, smiling through it all. Can't believe this is my life with LeBron. Mm-hmm. I think she's one of the 2 billionaires that we've got. It's her and then the daughter or the granddaughter of the Bills owner. We've got just the richest people that play tennis for us. In your face, world.
Yeah. Okay. Good job, Hank.
Thanks.
My hot seat is Mr. Pear. Mr. Pear the Turtle on the hot seat. This is really the first test for Mr. Pear.
Big time.
He kind of wet his beak a little bit, or whatever turtles have during NBA season, NHL season. But this is when it counts. This is when legends are made. This is when Larry the Goldfish became a legend. And Mr. Pear is, he's going to be front and center every Thursday night, right, Memes?
Front and center. I have to buy a new wood box. That'll be my project tomorrow. And he'll make the picks in there.
Okay.
What Mr. Pear has to hit what for us to be like
a success?
Yeah.
I'd say 60%.
60%.
60
high.
Yeah. That's for him to be like a legend.
You're right. You're right.
56%, you get your money back.
Yep.
54%, 56%, depending on what the
52 and a half.
52 and a half.
Yeah. But he's got it. You're right, because he's up against Larry.
And Larry was what, like 60?
I think he was 60. Hank has the tattoo. Do you have the pics? Oh, it's gone. That's right.
Would you get a Mr. Pear tattoo if he went 65%?
I would.
Yeah, I would too.
If he goes 65%, I will definitely.
Yep. I'd match.
Well, I think it was 59, 34, and 2, or 58, 34, and 2.
You had it on your leg.
I know. It's one of those. It's 59 and 58.
Okay, I think it was 59. But yeah, Mr. Pear's got his work cut out for him. So he's getting a new box. What's this setup going to look like, Memes?
So think his home now, except everything's going to be removed. I'll put some hay in it. And then
it's going to be like a dude's apartment where you're like, every guy wants this, and it's just a chair and NFL red zone.
Yep. Random dude.
And then we'll pull up the wood, and then he goes to
Have you guys never had a random dude stay over in your apartment?
I've always known who the dude was.
I've woken up several times to a random dude in my apartment.
I also Memes just keeps buying TVs, and he doesn't have any TV stands, and he doesn't hang them up.
Oh, come on.
What?
Yes. Every week he tells me he buys another TV, and then I'm like, where do you put them?
Where are you putting
He's
them?
Like, they're on the floor.
They're on the floor.
So what?
I need to see a picture. He won't show me a picture of the living room.
Picture.
Memes, what do you?
How many TVs you got, Memes?
There's 4 in my living room,
and then none of them are on stands.
There's one on a stand. It's a nice setup.
And what are the other 3?
They're all the same size.
Okay, that is nice.
Okay, but where are the other 3?
On the floor.
Memes, are they all the same brand?
All the same brand.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I found out that you could just order a TV on Uber Eats and it delivers straight to your door.
Do they think that you're going to eat it?
Yeah, are you addicted to TVs?
I think so. I just want to watch every game.
But you
There's so many games.
You can watch it with YouTube TV. You can watch 4 games on one.
Yeah, but it just doesn't look the same.
Okay,
it's true. I mean, you have 1,000 TVs.
I have so many TVs. I'm not. Listen, but they're all in their correct place. I don't have them on the ground. You're right. I shouldn't judge. I was watching 9 games on Saturday. It was awesome.
I kind of love that, though. I love the freedom of having an apartment where you just put your TVs on.
Yeah.
I just sent it.
Oh, my God, memes. This is ridiculous. What does your girlfriend think?
I don't have one.
Oh, no way.
This isn't bad. There's stands. There's little stands.
That's the most single guy apartment ever. Oh, I am jealous, memes. That's how you're living the life. Just sitting there. You gotta put it in the video
I
episode.
feel like you're sitting like on a lawn chair too.
I'm sitting on my beanbag chair.
Yeah, and I love the presentation too, because it feels like you're recreating like a cinema.
Pug, make sure you put this in the video so people can watch it when they're watching the episode.
It's perfectly symmetrical.
Oh. All right, so Mr. Bear's in the hot seat, and Memes has an addiction to TVs. I want you to get Memes. I might fund you to just get. I might fund your TV addiction if you promise to never hang any of them.
They all have to be on the
I
floor.
want to see. I want to see like 9 TVs on the floor.
9?
Yeah.
You could get a couple little ones and put them in like in between the cracks, you know?
It's
Yeah,
gonna be like
they're so
Coach Cal's
cheap, too.
basement where he has all his former recruits just like leaning up against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you literally like if you're like, oh man, I'm capped out on TVs, boom, gonna order another one? Is it like that spur of the moment?
Yeah. It's like a new toy.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
You play video games on one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Memes living his best life. Do you have any furniture in your house?
I have a couch
But you're on the beanbag chair
on the beanbag chair.
because it's better eye level for the TVs on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you have a table?
I have a
One table.
That sounds like a no.
no. I was trying to think of the term. An island, right?
Okay.
But that's it.
You have an
So you don't
island
have a
in your
coffee
kitchen?
table?
What's on the island? Is it like counter height?
Yeah, counter height.
Counter
I
height
have-
island?
I have 2 little chairs. I actually have a pretty nice apartment.
Yeah, you got a bunch of TVs.
Bunch of TVs.
But you don't have a coffee table.
I have 2 end tables.
Okay.
This is awesome.
Memes, I would love to go over to your apartment, just house beers on Saturday.
Yeah, just hang out.
And hang out. It sounds like a cool hang apartment.
Yeah. Okay. What's your cool throw on PFT?
My cool throne, that's a good question. What is my cool
Memes.
throne? Yeah, I mean, Memes' apartment rocks. My cool throne is Max Homa. Max Homa has been named to the President's Cup team.
Let's go.
Captain's pick.
Let's go.
And I don't. When is the President's Cup, Hank?
Every 2 years.
Yeah, it's off years of the Ryder Cup.
Right. So
I
it's
think this summer.
this summer coming up. So we don't know who the president's going to be, but good for Max Homa. He loves both Kamala and Donald Trump.
Yes.
So he's going to be excited to represent whoever the president might, or RFK Jr. He's a big RFK Jr.
Yes.
guy too.
Yes.
So he's excited to represent the office of the presidency. He did play well in the Ryder Cup, right? Max is a country first kind of guy.
Yeah, he did. That when we were like, he and Brooks were like the only 2 shining hopes that last day.
I kind of like our odds this year.
Yeah. All right, my hot seat is Billy Napier. We talked about him, Florida head coach. He's already fired per PFT. But
It's supposed to be SAC.
Billy Napier is on the hot seat because you know it's going bad for a head coach when he is taking shots at the people on social media in the basements. So he said if we can focus on those things, talking about good football and not what some guy in his basement in rural central Florida is saying on social media, then we've got a chance to get better, right? Also, our colleague Nikki Smokes, who is from Florida, pointed out they don't have basements in Florida.
That's what I was looking up right now.
Yeah.
And especially not in Central Florida because it's a swamp.
Correct.
The water table is too high. You
Correct.
can't dig down into the basement. If anything, you're like staying in an apartment with your mom.
Right.
Like
So
a guy who moved back in with his mom.
you're in a
taking shots.
condominium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But either way, the minute a football coach brings out the basement, social media basement, it's over.
Yeah. Not a good start. It's also early flight tracking season for college football.
Yes.
Because there's been flights. People are now monitoring flights from Gainesville to Oxford, Mississippi right now.
Oh.
And they're speculating. Flight tracking season's the best. You guys know that I love flight tracking season. But they're all over it. So now they're thinking maybe Lane Kiffin. But it also just could be any jet that goes from Gainesville to Oxford.
Yes. All right. Then my cool throne is Jay Cutler because Kristin Cavallari said that her boyfriend, Mark Estes, Montana boy, who's 13 years younger than her, she's having the best sex she's ever had.
That's a bit predatory, isn't it?
It is, but it's also, if you have to publicly say you're having the best sex you ever had, you're lying.
You're either doing that because you're lying,
Yeah.
or you're doing it just because you know that Jay Cutler will
Correct.
see it and get angry.
So Jay won. Because that's, you don't just come out and be like, oh, I'm having the best sex ever.
Mhm.
That's, you're lying. And Jay won.
I'm having the best sex ever.
Yeah. Lying.
Lying.
Lie.
I'm having the worst sex of my life right now.
Yeah. That's true.
Fuck. So you can't, so you just don't talk about your sex.
Exactly. If you don't talk about your sex, people just assume you're having the best sex ever. The minute you say you have the best sex ever, everyone's like, dude, that's a lie.
I'm having no sex. What does that mean?
You're telling the truth.
Fuck.
But yeah, Jay won. Okay, should we get to our interviews? Pete Prisco. Always fun to have Pete Prisco on. It is brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Football season is here, and we can't wait to get out to some games this fall with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time. Now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier to get to a game. Game Time's Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. We were looking at that Ravens-Chiefs game. It's happening in 24 hours. $100 or $200 to get in with Game Time using the GT pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time pick deals near you. So if you're listening to this, you're a Ravens or a Chiefs fan, banner night, use Game Time, use that Game Time picks feature. Download the Game Time app today. Use code PMT to easily score great deals with the new Game Time picks. What time is it? Game time. Okay, here he is, Pete Prisco. Okay, we now welcome on one of our favorite guests. He's the spiciest meatball in the world. It is senior NFL columnist for CBSSports.com.
Is that by age?
By age, he's literally, they can't believe that he's still working. An analyst for CBS Sports HQ. It is Pete Prisco.
Watches the film.
Watches the tape watcher, was on the Russell Wilson stinks far before anyone else.
He was on the Russell Wilson stinks even when he was really good.
Yeah, when he was winning Super Bowls. He's like, this guy's going to stink at some point when he's like 36. Pete Prisco. Pete, we're on the eve of the NFL season. There's no better time right before the NFL season starts. Let's start here. What's the spiciest take you got right now that everyone's coming after you for, that you think you're going to be right and everyone else is wrong?
The Packers are going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I knew you would love that.
God damn it. Why?
The
Jordan
schedule?
Love?
Is this a schedule thing? Because we remember last year with the Jaguars, we looked at the schedule.
No.
You had them at what, 12 wins last year?
13, I think.
13 wins.
Yeah, well, they went in November as the number one seed. You forget about that on a Sunday night, and the quarterback got hurt. Let's not forget about that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So, yeah, no, you're right. You're right on that. They were never going to get to the Super Bowl. But the Packers are your Super Bowl champions. Why? Besides Jordan Love being what seems like an up and coming superstar with how he finished last year, why is it so different?
Well, because I think you get those receivers all together now. They didn't play barely at all together last year. Watson's on the field. He's a big play receiver. You're going to open things up with that guy. Then you look at the running game. I think they're more physical in the running game than they've been. The offensive line will be bigger and stronger. But more than, we know it's Love, but more than on the other side of the ball, they weren't very good. But now they bring in a defensive coordinator in Jeff Hafley who can get after it. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to play more press man. They're going to attack the quarterback. I love what they've done on defense, and I love what they're doing on offense. They're the best team in that division. I know you don't want to hear it, but they are.
Are you now, counterpoint to what you said, obviously their win Thanksgiving Day was impressive against the Lions, and they beat the Chiefs, who were reeling at that moment. Are you worried, though, that there was maybe a little smoke and mirrors with how they finished the season, needing 3 wins to get in the playoffs, and they beat the Panthers barely, the Vikings on their third quarterback, and my Bears, who sucked, who I deluded myself thinking they could win that game, to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, but don't you can flip it forward, say they went down to Dallas and beat the Cowboys,
fine.
and then went to the 49ers and should have won that game. They should have won that game.
I'm looking at being like the end of their season last year was a complete fluke and they suck. So I understand that's stupid.
Yeah, you're hoping, you're wishing.
Yeah.
But Pete, isn't it fair to say like we don't have enough body of evidence, not enough body of work with Jordan Love?
Well, you can say that about C.J. Stroud too. Does anybody say that about him?
I think, yeah, they do. I mean, they say he's really, really good, but they say it's his rookie year. He just did it once. They're not giving him a massive contract after that, obviously.
Yeah, but from that, if they could, they would, though. From that standpoint, you make a good point. Both of them probably have to do it all over again. But haven't you seen enough to give you an idea that you're a believer in both of them? Okay, I'll give you this for you. If Jaden Daniels goes out and throws 28 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions, and Washington wins 9 games, are you going to say that he can't do it again?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, absolutely. But that's because I already know he's that good going into it. In my mind, because he won the Heisman last year. What did Jordan Love do last year?
He went to the deep into the playoffs.
No, I mean the year before that. The year before he played.
He's watched a lot of football from the bench. I guess.
So have I.
32 years old. He's been there for forever. Okay. Good one to start with. That was a good way to get it spicy off the rip.
I saw another somewhat spicy take that you had. You did your list of the 100 best players. You had Patrick Mahomes number 1 overall. The NFL players disagree with you. Would they have him?
I think 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah.
That's mystifying to me.
That's a hot take by Pete putting him at number 1.
Crazy.
He might be. By the way, if he wins the Super Bowl this year and 3-peats, he's in the conversation as the greatest football player of all time. Already.
Good point. Hank doesn't have his headphones on right now.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes would be the greatest. Pete, you know how I know the Chiefs are going to probably be back in the Super Bowl is that the conversation now when you're trying to pick them apart is like they'll just like get tired of winning and it's hard to win. They might be better this year. They probably are better this year than they were last year because last year they weren't. Through the body of work of the regular season, weren't a great team. They obviously got great in the playoffs. They seem like they might be a better team this year. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Last year was the year to get them, and nobody got them. I mean, it's easy to go into every season and say, okay, I'll take the Chiefs against the field because they're that good. The coach is that good. Think about this. Andy Reid coaches until he's 70, has a chance to get the wins record. We all thought it was going to be Belichick, but Andy Reid actually has a chance to get that. Coach, quarterback. Of course they're better than they were a year ago. They have speed now on offense. They can stretch the field. It's a better team. But winning 3 in a row, it's never happened for a reason. It's never happened for a reason.
Right. You just did it right there. You did this is what we're going to pick apart on the Chiefs. So if the Chiefs weren't to go to the Super Bowl from the AFC, what are your other AFC teams you're like, this is the year they're going to take that step forward, maybe knock off the Chiefs?
You'll be happy because I got Buffalo going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I love that. Nice, Pete.
Oh my God, Buffalo versus the Packers.
Could you imagine?
I might have to get a Bills I might have to get a Bills tattoo before that game.
Pete, that would make my day if the make my year if the Bills went to the Super Bowl. That'd be so awesome.
You guys will know this. The whole idea of the window shutting on the Bills is the stupid, dumb talk that people throw out there when they don't pay attention to what's going on. As long as Josh Allen is slinging the football in Buffalo, they will have an open window, period, end of story. And everybody says, well, they lost all these guys from a year ago. They didn't have most of those guys a year ago. Tre'Davious White wasn't around. Matt Milano's hurt again. He wasn't there last year. The 2 safeties were banged up all year. Daquan Jones went down early in the season, the best run stuffer. Von Miller was admittedly a shell of himself. And then they talk about Diggs. Look what Diggs did in the last 10 games of the season. Nothing. And it's addition by subtraction. So the way I look at it, Buffalo's going to be a better team than they were a year ago, and they have a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Imagine all those Bills fans down in New Orleans. They're going to drink so many beers.
Oh, man.
It's going to be amazing.
Insane.
It would be wild. Buffalo and Green Bay and the Super Bowl in New Orleans, it would just be – and it wouldn't be high-end drinking, It would be a lot of the cheap stuff. That'd be fun.
I think that would be the fattest Super Bowl.
Let's see.
I think it would.
Yeah, Wisconsin, definitely.
Yeah. Buffalo, you got some heft.
You got to have the winter weight.
More power in Buffalo than fat, but it's power. They're powerful people.
You have to insulate yourself from the elements in Buffalo.
Beef on weck. That's the way. I love beef on weck.
They just eat food that keeps you warm. That's the trick of living in Buffalo.
Yes.
The wings, all that stuff.
Okay, so other AFC teams, and I want you to pick apart or tell me what your main like bugaboo is. The Bengals. We're big believers in Joe Burrow. I think that the league has kind of forgotten about Joe Burrow because he hasn't been playing. What do you think about the Bengals this season, and do they have a team that could potentially get to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. As long as Joe Burrow's on the field, they're a contender. They're like the Bills. As long as that quarterback is on the field, they're a contender. They've gotten bigger and stronger in the offensive line. Now Mims is banged up, but when he's back, they're big physical offensive line, and they're going to score a lot of points. Defensively, they need some guys to step up, but they have a lot of talent on that side, particularly young guys, the young secondary players. I think they're going to be better than they've been on defense, but it all comes down to Burrow being on the field, and availability is the best ability, and he hasn't exactly been there game in and game out. But I'm with you. When he's on the field, he's fantastic.
Okay, what about the Ravens? I know that you don't like Lamar that much because he's one of those running quarterbacks that you look down your nose on, but they should have done better in the play. If they had run the ball in the second half against the Chiefs, we might be telling a different story right now. They got Derrick Henry. Lamar is 12, 15 pounds lighter than he was last year, which, by the way, I'm not so sure that's a good thing that Lamar Jackson is 15 pounds lighter. The knock on Lamar Jackson was never, this guy would be great if he wasn't so fat.
Right. It was never that. I don't understand why he wants to get leaner. You should want that on your, because he needs to be stronger. He's going to take some shots. By the way, I like Lamar Jackson. I don't like quarterbacks who immediately just run. And he's gotten much better at not doing that. Look at Josh Allen runs. I like Josh Allen. He runs a lot too. But their problem to me right now is their offensive line. They're actually talking about rotating guys like they did last year. Series at right tackle and maybe left guard. I don't like that. I think you need to find five and settle on them. And they have issues on the offensive line. And if they have problems on the offensive line, it's going to be hard to rush the football with Henry or whoever's running the ball.
Okay. The Texans. Would you say it's subtraction by adding Stephon Diggs?
We'll see.
It is interesting because last year was an aberration year where it's I can't believe we have this quarterback that's this good, this young, and they've got stud wide receivers, and now you add a guy like Stephon Diggs. What would be the whole of the Texans if you were scouting them?
Doing it again as a hunted team. I think that's you got to learn how. That was the same thing that Jacksonville ran into last year. You didn't know how to handle success, and does this team know how to handle success? You think they do, but you never know until you get. Teams are gunning for you week in and week out. You're one of the better teams in the league. You have to learn how to handle that, and I'm not sure they can. The division's a lot tougher. I'm a big Will Levis guy. I think the Titans are going to be better. Anthony Richardson on the field. The Colts probably should have beat them in the last week of the season, and they might not even made the playoffs. And here's the other thing. As much as we love C.J. Stroud, you would have thought the way we talk about him, he threw 40 touchdown passes. I think he threw 24, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it wasn't like it was Dan Marino throwing 48 in his second season. It's just so we got to slow the roll a little bit on this team. Diggs, by the way, will be on his best behavior because he's on a one-year deal.
So he's going to make sure that he doesn't completely alienate every other team in the league.
Correct. He wants to get another contract.
Yeah.
He threw 23 touchdowns, I believe, in the regular season last year.
Yeah. I mean, that's
he did miss 2 games. But that's not a great number. It's not 40. It's not 37. It's not, you know what I mean? He's good. I love what I've seen from the kid. But again, you got to show us, just like you said about Jordan Love, show us again. But more than that, this young team has to show us again. Yeah.
What about the New York Jets? There have been a lot of problems that weren't really problems this offseason, but they felt like problems a lot of the time. Aaron Rodgers missing out on minicamp, the Hassan Reddick contract thing that's still going. I don't know. Is the problem on that just he hasn't shown up to the facility to negotiate the contract?
Or they won't give him a new contract, or they offered him one that they didn't like it, or there's a bunch of things that could be a play there. He'll show up and play. There's only so many earning years in your body. Eventually, he's going to show up. I mean, they know that. He knows it. He won't sit out the season. Nobody does anymore. It's too much money being left on the table. Trent Williams will eventually show if he doesn't get a new contract. They all show up, and they should show up. Because, again, I say it all the time. Every year you sit out or every game you sit out is money you can't get back. You'll never get it back. So
well, Trent's
he'll show
done it
up.
before. Trent's just not shown up for games before.
Yeah, and he was a kid then. He was 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Now he's an old guy, so he needs to get those. You have less earning years in your body. He'll show
that's
up.
true. So, what about the rest of the Jets, though? What do you expect out of them?
If the offensive line stays healthy, and again, that's a big if. If Rodgers stays healthy, that's probably a little bit of an if. They'll be good on offense, and they'll score points, and they're going to be a team to watch out for in that division. They're going to push Buffalo. I think they're the two best teams in that division, and they're going to push for more than that if they get a second weapon. And, Wilson's going to be a heck of a weapon, but who else emerges? Mike Williams coming off a knee injury, never was a burner to begin with. The tight end position, suspect. They need to get more weapons involved. So if they can find somebody that steps up, then I think they'll push for deep into the playoffs, in fact.
Okay, so AFC is crazy looking at the AFC because there's really not, besides the Patriots and I don't even know, maybe the Raiders, like there's not a lot of teams that you can be like, we can pretty confidently say they're going to be bad. Who is the dark horse team? Because it happens every year and it could just be the Jets because they didn't make the playoffs last year, but the team that you don't see didn't make the playoffs last year and now they're in the playoffs and they had a year that people didn't fully expect.
Who?
Can't say the Jaguars.
No. Well, they're going to be in the playoffs, though. They'll be a wild card team.
Okay.
Well, the Bengals.
You want me to throw another team out there for you? Our guy, Jim Harbaugh in L.A., they obviously have a lot of talent deficiencies, but he's gonna win a couple games they shouldn't win just because of who he is and how he runs that system.
Absolutely, but I think they're a year away. I think they're like your Bears team. I think they're a year away.
Oh,
I really do.
Fuck!
Yeah,
wait, I didn't know that. I didn't know you had that take.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Bears?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a real push for a Super Bowl next year, but I think they're a year away from being a playoff team this year.
What does that mean? What's their record?
9-8, 8-9.
Fuck! If you told me 9-8,
9-8's not bad though.
9-8.
9-8's pretty good. Turn it around.
9-8. I don't know.
But you also we can get back to the Bears in a second. You glossed over talking about the Chargers. Did you not see the report that Herbert was stuck in an elevator and Harbaugh was extremely impressed with how he handled himself inside that elevator like a leader?
Yeah, I didn't quite get that, by the way. I mean, what the hell does that mean? You didn't pee in the corner like everybody else did? What's that mean?
He wasn't sweating.
I thought he didn't sweat at all, but I also thought maybe that meant he wasn't hydrated. If you're not pissing in the corner, that means that you're not hydrated enough for football.
What if you had to go number 2 while you were stuck in the elevator?
And you got Lamar. Lamar would have had to.
He would have been the worst. I was going to ask you who you think the worst quarterbacks to be stuck in an elevator with. I think Lamar probably number 1 because of number 2. And probably Russell Wilson because he'd do like high knees.
Oh, he would be annoying in there. Yeah, he'd probably be number 2. He might even be number 1. If Lamar did his business in the corner, you just move away from him. You couldn't get away from Russell.
Kind of an alpha male move though to just take your pants off and take a shit.
He'd probably go in his pants and let it sit there for a while.
Yeah.
What? How many games do you think Russell Wilson's going to play this year? Barring injury.
4 or 5.
How many?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. And then they're going to pull the plug.
You got to pull the plug. What did they see in the preseason or in their workouts that gave you any indication that he's the guy? Or going back to last year when he held the ball forever and caused so many sacks in Denver, he's done. He's over.
I think what they're just hoping for is that they get an average quarterback, because with an average quarterback on that team last year, then you're telling an entirely different story. The offense looks a lot better. The defense is still going to be awesome this year. They got them to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're always going to be tough and physical and everything else, and want to run the ball. They have offensive line questions. There's 2 rookies that are going to be starting on that offensive line. That's questions. And then again, look at the division. Where are they in the division? They're the 4th team, right?
Yeah. I guess the Browns are kind of a team that hasn't been talked about a lot just because no one knows what Deshaun Watson's going to do. And when is Nick Chubb going to be back? And the Browns were good last year with Joe Flacco down the stretch, but I have no idea what to expect from Deshaun Watson.
No, nobody does. He's played 12 games for the Browns in 2 years. I mean, you can't. No, and when he's been on the field, he's been bad at times, and then he started looking good at the end before he got hurt again last year. They're the unknown team. They really are. You're right about them. They have talent on defense. They got an elite defensive player that can rush the passer and wreck the game. If Watson's good and the offensive line is healthy, and again, their 3 tackles were hurt last year. Now they have 2 of them. They're still banged up. You got problems there.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Bears. Big Cat's Bears. You don't seem like you're buying in fully. You said that they're a year away. They've got guys that can get after the passer on defense. They've got who appears to be a great quarterback in Caleb Williams. You've got all the weapons in the world for Caleb.
One of the best secondaries in the league.
Love the secondary. I love the corners. I really love the corners. They got they might have the best group of corners in the league, by the way.
I'd agree.
So why do you hate the Bears?
I don't. I just think this is another team that's got to learn how to win and learn how to have success. You have a rookie quarterback. It's tough on a rookie quarterback. It's not like they just show up. It doesn't happen all the time. So it's going to be a process. But when you look at the division, I think the Packers are really good. I think the Lions are really good. The Vikings, not so much, but I think if you look, the Bears are the 3rd team in the division. And so I think combined with everything, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Now, would I be shocked if they snuck in as a wild card? No. But I just think it's a year away from when they're really special.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I were, I'm obviously very, very excited about this Bears season. I'm very excited about the future because it feels like Ryan Poles is putting the team together the right way. And I do think the defense has some insane talent, but I also will admit that if we played the end of the season, game that I did with the Packers, they beat up on some not great quarterbacks down the stretch. And, when they played Kyler Murray and when they played Jordan Love, I know we beat the Cardinals, but Kyler Murray kind of, passed all over us. So there is something to be said for that, where it's like you got to show it again this year.
Yeah, and I love that they're doing on defense. They're building to something special, but again, it's all building, and it's not there yet. Got a rookie receiver you're counting on for big things. He's still a rookie receiver. He's going to be good, but he's a rookie receiver. Keenan Allen, what's he have left? There are questions there. So I think you add it all up, I think they're a year away.
Okay, and then let's do the NFC. So it feels like there's going to be one team that we expect to be really good in the NFC that's just not. And it's like, whether you want to pick the Eagles, the Cowboys, I'm trying to think who else.
Some people have said the Niners.
Is there one of those teams that you can think of where you're like, everyone's expecting them to just kind of do the same thing and be a playoff team, but there's something there that is just not right that's going to hold them back?
I think Dallas is going to win the division. But I also had the Eagles sneaking in. So if you had to, I'd say they both get in. The Niners division isn't very good, I don't think. I think those teams are coming a little bit, but they're not there yet. So I think the Niners won't be as good as they were a year ago, but I still think they're going to get, 1 or 2 seed in the NFC. They're just not I don't think they're as good as they were a year ago. So,
okay.
So they might be the team, but they'll still be in the postseason. As far as a team that made the playoffs last year that's not going to get in, that's hard to figure out because if you look at it, where do they come from? Because I think the Lions, the Packers will both be there again. I think the Cowboys will be there, the Eagles. I think the Bucks win the South. Most people are sleeping on the Bucks.
Yeah.
Because they're all in on Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. I'm not. And then I think the Niners will be in the playoffs.
And the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be good.
And the Rams.
Yeah.
So where's a team that's going to come from nowhere to make the playoffs in the NFC?
But there will be. Like we can have you back on. Like that there will be a team. One of those teams you listed will not make the playoffs.
Okay, you would probably pick Atlanta, maybe, right, to be the team.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's going to be very good this year.
I got a spicy one for you, Pete. Are the Saints as bad as we think they are? Because I think they're like perfectly average, and in that division, like they started playing okay ball down the stretch, and Derek Carr kind of figured it out a little bit with the new team. Could it possibly be the Saints? Because that division will be tight. Like no one's a juggernaut there.
Yeah, no, it's not the Saints. I think you talk about a team that has major offensive line problems, but more than that, Derek Carr, can you count on him week in and week out? And here's the other thing. Age is starting to creep in on defense. All their marquee, Demario Davis getting up in the years, Cam Jordan up in the years. honey badger up in the ears. And I think you start worrying about that a little bit as well.
Okay, so what about Detroit? What's the vibe going to be like in Detroit this year? Because they're one of the teams that was the hunter. Now they're definitely firmly in that hunted category. The way that the season ended last year, that could be like a big thing to get over emotionally. Do you think that carries over into this year, or you still like them?
I think they're talented. Their talent will carry them far enough, but getting back to where they were is going to be tough to do. It's hard to get back there. And he even said that after the game. Remember Dan Campbell said that. But here's some words of advice for Dan Campbell. And I love the way he coached when he had to coach that way. You don't need to coach that way anymore. Stop with the fourth down going for it all the time. You did that when you needed to do that. You don't do that anymore. Your team is good. You don't need to do that anymore.
I disagree with that. I think he should do it. I think he should do it the same that he's done in the past. It
cost him a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
It cost him a chance to go to the Super Bowl because they had some drops in those plays. And that happens sometimes in football. Sometimes you don't catch the ball. But I feel like because I think the team plays hard for him because they like the identity that he puts out there.
Yeah.
We're like, we got fucking Dan Campbell on our side, and we can do anything because we believe in this guy.
Early on, when you didn't have as much talent, that made sense. Where your talent is now there on the roster, you don't need to play that way anymore. You adjust to your team year in and year out. You can get away from that. If they had kicked a field goal late in that game, they go to overtime and they might win the game and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, you also say that the field goal is going to be guaranteed because that field goal kicker was not great. They changed him, right? Like that was I think they brought back the guy.
But he was good in the playoffs, though. He made the kick.
Okay.
Then we go back to Dallas in the regular season. If he had played that the right way, he might have had a home playoff game.
I need to go back and look at all three of those questionable decisions that he made because I thought that two of them were good. I thought one of them was really bad.
I also PFT and I kind of agree that like if your MO is to play on the edge and you have your guys like that, I do think that there's a inherent value of it. Like, hey, we're gonna push it all the time, and you can't change. You can't, like, if he had been scared, Dan Campbell, in the playoffs, people would have shit on him for that.
Not me.
You're different.
No, because you got to play the percentages. You got to play to go to the next play. And they didn't play to go to the next play. He played to win it right there.
An analogy that Dan would understand would be that, like, they're like Metallica, where Ride the Lightning came out, their fans were like, this fucking rocks. The Black Album came out, and you're like, this team's really, really good. And then if they dropped Load, you're like, this is soft. They've gone weak. That's what Dan Campbell, he'd be like Load by Metallica if he took his foot off the gas.
So you guys want him to continue to play as aggressively as he's done?
Yes.
Even though it cost him a chance possibly to go to the Super Bowl?
I want Dan Campbell to be Dan Campell.
Yeah. I don't want him to change at all.
You could be Dan Campbell, but you could be situationally smarter than Dan Campbell.
No, I don't think you can. And that's not Dan Campbell.
Yes, it is. He's learned. He's evolved. Can't you evolve?
Dan Campbell doesn't evolve.
Pete, is there a quarterback that you see either taking a step forward this year that we don't see coming, or maybe a quarterback that's going to take a step back that people are like, hey, we think he's this, and I disagree. I do not see the same thing when I watch the film, which you do.
Will Levis is going to take a major step forward.
Okay, I like that.
You know who Will Levis is a lot like? You follow his career arc and all the stuff that people said about him coming out and the way they handled him and everything else? Josh Allen.
Okay.
Same type of thing. Remember, he wasn't very good as a senior, and why was his completion percentage bad, and this and that, and he's different and everything else. And Will Levis is entirely not the person he's portrayed to be by the media when he came into the draft. He loves it. He lives it. He's like Josh Allen. He's a fanatic about it. He goes on vacation in Italy and scouts out fields to go work out while he's there 3 weeks before camp, hops over the fence, starts working out. The cops come. He doesn't know how to speak Italian. They were going to arrest him, and he finally got somebody to talk himself out of it. That's how much of a maniac he is as a guy who loves the game. And you have to be that way. He's going to have a monster season, and everybody who made fun of him and mocked his game going into the draft is going to be exactly the way they were with Josh Allen. They're going to be wrong.
So your entire analysis of Will Levis, who we like, he's a friend of the program, is that you think he has moxie because he was able to talk his way out of a bunch of angry Italians trying to arrest him.
Well, you know how us Italians are. We'll throw anybody in the flag.
That's how you heard that story and you're like, oh my God, my paisan.
You know what
incredible.
You know what a criminal you have to be to get arrested by Italians?
Yeah, right. I mean, but that was nice. I mean, it was funny because he didn't know any Italian and he couldn't. At some point, he said he was an NFL quarterback, and they went, "Oh, big deal." You know, they didn't care.
If that story happens in France, you're not loving Will Levis the same way you're loving him.
No, it has nothing. It's the fact that he actually scouted out workout facilities to go when you're on a vacation. That's Peyton Manning-esque. That's weird, but it's crazy. By the way, he is going to be a big-time player, and it's same trajectory as Josh Allen. Big arm, tough kid. I'm telling you, just keep an eye on it. He's going to be a star.
I do like that story, though, Pete. It would have been better if he had snuck into the Roman Coliseum and gotten down there where the gladiators used to be, and then practiced down there.
Now that would be a hell of a story.
Yes.
That would be a good story. So is there a quarterback that you think will take a step back this year?
Step back quarterback. Well, you got the elite. They're never stepping back. Those guys will never step back. So just eliminate them. There's 7 of them.
Wait, who are your top 7?
Oh, you have 7 elite quarterbacks?
Well, I think Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Rodgers. He still counts. Lamar. Who am I leaving off there?
Stafford?
Brock Purdy?
Stop. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's better than people give him credit for, but he's not elite. Stafford's not there. Herbert, no. Lawrence, no. Tua, no. Maybe that's it.
So
but,
top 6.
Yeah.
Dak?
No, he's not elite.
You didn't say Jalen Hurts.
He's not there either.
Is there a chance it could go bad in Philly?
I think there's a chance, but they have so much talent. And look, everybody wants to point to the offensive side of the ball last year. The defense was awful. It was awful. Yep. I mean, guys got lazy and they wore down at the end of the season. It was just not. And the pass defense was terrible. And everybody goes Jalen Hurts and the coach. Jalen Hurts and the coach. It wasn't that. It was the defense was awful. That was the problem. And they look. By the way, they looked like they gave up in that playoff game. That's what they looked like.
Big time.
So, Pete, in the preseason, we're getting into week 1 here, but I'm going to ask you to put coaches on the hot seat, preheated on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which coaches should we be looking at?
Well, Sirianni's on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
Already.
Think about that, though. This is how crazy it is. He was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, went to the playoffs last year. If he doesn't make the playoffs this year, he's probably on the hot seat. I mean,
people are calling him a Steichen merchant.
I mean, McCarthy's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't win, if he doesn't get deep into the playoffs or win a playoff game, he's probably out, right? That's 2.
I'd say so.
But I thought that last year, too. And I actually thought that the year before that. It's almost like Jerry Jones likes keeping him around because he knows that he can just yell at Mike McCarthy all the time.
I mean, we do pretend that Jerry Jones is like, because obviously, his entire fallout with Jimmy Johnson in the 90s, but like he did keep Jason Garrett around for way too long.
Yeah, that's true.
So
he did.
He is maybe too loyal.
He is loyal. But I think this is it. Mike probably knows it. You don't win a playoff game, you're probably gone. Brian Dable probably has to show something or he's gone.
Yeah.
There aren't many, though. That's the thing, because there's been so many new coaches and so many teams turned over that there's not that many. Dennis Allen, you mentioned the Saints. He could be in trouble.
Who even remembers he's coaching?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I think there's not that many. 4 or 5 could be on the hot seat, but Sirianni could be.
Okay, so we know you have the Packers and the Bills as your Super Bowl. I got one last question for you, Pete, and you're the best. We always love your takes. So, rowback question, rhoback.com. Promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, and bathing suits. Rowback.com, promo code TAKE. What's the it used to be Russell Wilson. What is the argument that you find yourself getting into the most online right now where people are saying you're stupid and you're like, hey, I'm Pete Prisco and I watched the tape?
By the way, I want my rowback Speedo that I can wear to the beach. I want that.
Yeah.
I don't think they make denim Speedos, but we'll try to make one.
If they did, you would have one. Believe me, I know you would.
That's probably true, yeah.
The biggest take that gets me in trouble, the Miami Dolphins. The Tuanon comes at me hard, man. They're rough. They're rough. And now I say they're not tough enough, and that drives them up a wall. They're pretty, they're fun to watch, they're good in September, but when it comes time to play good teams or playoff games or games against big games or big games against good teams, they're 1-6 last year. That's a problem.
You're right about that. I mean, it's just a fact. They haven't had that signature win against a really tough team, and the way they played in that game against the Chiefs, like, it was a quit thing. It felt like they quit.
Well, and not just that. Mike McDaniel's a hell of an offensive coach. Might be the brightest offensive coach or one of them in the league. But he's very tight with his players, almost like buddy when you watch their practices and stuff. And it's that always worries me a little bit. I mean, like, guys go in and out of the drills. When the Commanders and Dolphins worked out, the Commanders were in full gear, and Miami's guys were in shorts and their helmets were off at the beginning of practice. I mean, it's just a different feel. And maybe, I mean, that's who he is, so be true to who you are. But I wonder sometimes if that flies when you get to toughness and tough games.
He's too nice. He's one of those nice guys.
Yeah. I mean, at some point that shows up, doesn't it? I mean, isn't the proof in the pudding so far? He's got to dispel the notion that the Dolphins aren't tough enough.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. There definitely is. It's the buddy thing. Like, if they don't win a playoff game this year, I think Mike McDaniel's a hell of a coach, like you said. But if they don't win a playoff game, the seat will start getting a little warm, because it's like, hey, you can break all the records in the regular season, you can have an awesome offense, but you got to win in January. That's what you get paid to do.
And you got to win against good teams. I mean, even if you play good, look at their wins last year. They weren't against good teams. You have to beat good teams. 1-6 against playoff teams, and Tua is no different. I mean, Tua hasn't been good against the playoff teams either. So those two guys linked together have to be better. And again, I go back to my toughness, and I think that matters in the NFL.
So who do you think is the toughest team?
Oh,
Pete Prisco's toughest team.
Well, the Ravens are tough as hell, always. The Ravens are always tough, physical, nasty, and they replace guys with tough, physical, nasty guys. The Ravens, when you think toughness, the Ravens are always right there with it. And not because of the style of play either, just because of the mentality of the organization. They've always been that way. Going back to, when they had the best defense in 2000. That group was nasty, and it's carried over. The Ravens.
You got to get a murderer on the team. Yeah.
Wow.
Tough yourself up.
Wow.
Alleged. Sorry.
And then the Steelers are always tough too. Those two teams, I think, if you look at true toughness, those two teams are tough.
That's why I think the Chargers are going to maybe be surprising people, because Harbaugh will make a tough team.
They will. He'll make a tough team. I saw you guys fawning all over Harbaugh. You loved it.
We love him.
He's a great coach.
We love him. Sorry you don't have access.
He's a great coach. He's a strange man, but he's a great coach.
Yeah. So, Pete, what about my Commanders? Tell me something good about my Commanders, because I've started to believe, just watching Jaden in the preseason, he's so good. He's so good, Pete. And Adam Peters said today, this is me like reading way too deeply into a quote and actually buying the bullshit that they're selling. They're not rebuilding, they're recalibrating.
Oh,
so
I love that.
So they're
I love that for you.
They're in win now mode.
Yeah,
is what he said. So we're in win now mode. We're all in DC. That's why we traded Jahan Dotson probably. But tell me something good about him. What's the ceiling that I can expect?
8, 9 wins. 8.
That's pretty good.
I'll take 8.
I
heard
Jaden,
9. I heard 9.
I love Jaden Daniels. I think
he's so good.
I think he's the best quarterback in the draft. Sorry, Big Cat. I thought he was
so good.
And having watched him at Arizona State and then watched him play at LSU and now watching him now, he's the most improved quarterback I've ever seen in my life. And I've covered this a long time. At ASU, and I'm a Sun Devil, he wasn't very good. What he became at LSU, he was outstanding, and he's only going to get better. When I watched him work out, and I hadn't seen him play live, when I watched him work out against the Dolphins, he made a throw to the sidelines, and that ball gets on that receiver so fast, and with, it makes it throws easy, and that's what you want to see. I think the Commanders have their guy for the next 15 years, and he's going to be a star.
Don't say that, Pete. Don't say that.
I
agree with you. I love
that for you.
It sounds so good hearing somebody else besides me say it. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah,
I love him. Well, I think, like I said, I had him as the number 1 quarterback, and Caleb Williams was number 2.
Well, you don't like Caleb Williams because he cried that one time.
No, I mean, I don't like the crying. I admit that. I will never back away from that. Crying on your mom after a football game should never happen.
And the pink phone. Real men should never wear
No,
pink.
I don't care about any of that stuff. Who cares? I just think you shouldn't cry after a game. You just should. I told Kyle Long, Kyle Long, I work with him. You don't cry. I never cried after anything when I was growing up. Nothing.
Well, you're a tough Italian man.
Yeah, that seems like a personal thing. Maybe you should cry more.
Yeah.
When was the last time you cried, Pete?
Probably over a death or something. I cry over that.
Pussy.
Yeah, bitch.
That's not. No, crying over. Did you ever cry over anything you lost?
Pussy.
No.
If you lost a sporting event, did you ever cry growing up, even as a pee-wee kid?
I kind of cried a little, like not cried, but I cried a little bit of double doink, like a little teary-eyed. Like it was kind of like talking crying.
No, you did. You cried over a win and a loss of a team you're rooting for?
Yeah.
I cried when the Caps won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. I'll admit it. I was so happy.
No, did you ever cry over losing anything when you were a kid playing sports?
No, because I never lost.
Yes, you did.
That's true.
You just have to be Pete understands that you just have to be so good to never lose. That way you'll never cry.
No, you know why I never cried? As long as I did my job and I got my points, so I got my hits. I didn't care if we won or lost.
Selfish guy.
Sound like a great teammate. Yeah.
There is an I in Prisco, believe me. I'm telling you.
Pete, you're the best. We appreciate you as always. Hopefully we see you soon, and let's have a great season.
And Bears will be 9 wins, and the Commanders might be close to them. So you guys will have.
How many wins will the Patriots have for Hank?
4.
Oh,
okay.
He's expecting that.
I think more.
Play
like
Drake.
Jacoby.
Play Drake May now, please. Get on with it.
Yeah, get on with it.
Why do you say that?
Because why are you holding back? The sooner you get on, you find out what you have, the better off you'll be. And everybody says, well, if you ruin his psyche, then, oh, wow, what do you do? Well, you know what? If you ruined his psyche, you drafted the wrong kid.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right. Thanks so much, Pete.
You got it.
Our good friend Pete Prisco was brought to you by The Farmer's Dog. The days are warmer, the walks are longer, and one easy way to help your dog shine this season is with fresh, healthy food from The Farmer's Dog. The Farmer's Dog makes real, fresh dog food. It delivers it right to your door. I just got a package for Blake. He knows when the farmer's dog comes. He waits by the door, waits at the kitchen as I'm unpacking it because he loves his dog food. He eats breakfast, dinner. It's pre-portioned, pre-packaged, and they're developed by vet nutritionists, made from real meat and veggies, so he loves his food. It's portioned just for your dog, making it easy to say goodbye to burnt brown balls and to feed your dog real food with real benefits. It's smart, healthy pet food that you can feel good about feeding your pup. It's the best option for dogs of all life stages. It's not kibble, not canned goo. It's real healthy food. Blake's been on it his entire life. Stella's been on it for a long time. Both dogs are doing great. Thank you to The Farmer's Dog. It's not just fresh, high-quality food. They also send it pre-portioned specifically for your dog based on their unique needs. That way your dog can maintain their ideal weight. It's one of the biggest predictors of a full, healthy life. Dogs at a healthy weight can live up to 2.5 years longer than overweight dogs. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Pete Prisco is also brought to you by our very good friends over at Paramount Plus. Listen up, AWLs. Football season is officially back. Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS all season long. Get that app downloaded right now. You're going to want to have it downloaded. You can stream your live local CBS game on Paramount Plus every week, all the way through the AFC Championship. Don't miss a must-see Week 2 matchup. We got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the two-time defending Chiefs. They go to L.A., take on Coach Harbaugh and the Chargers. It's the national game. You can watch it on Paramount Plus. That subscription also unlocks all-access pass to 24/7 NFL content all week long. Get up-to-the-minute news and updates on CBS Sports HQ. Make sure your fantasy team that nobody else cares about is ready for victory with Fantasy Football Today and so much more. Real football guys and gals know you only have a certain amount of football games left in your life, and you don't want to miss any of the action. It's a football app. You got apps on your phone that are non-football apps, and then you've got apps that are football apps. This is a football app. You're going to want it before the season starts. Sign up, sign in to Paramount Plus today. Stream the NFL on CBS all season long, at home or on the go. Paramount Plus plans start at just $52 a month for 12 months. Terms and conditions apply. And now, here's Forrest Galante.
Okay, we now welcome on a recurring guest that people might not know of because this was the Barstool Gold era.
Yeah.
An incredible interview. It is our friend Forrest Galante, who is a scientist. What are the official things behind what you do?
Wildlife biologist. Adventurer.
Okay.
I'm just singing my own praises over here. Wildlife biologist, adventurer, make TV shows, that kind of stuff.
Yes. So a lot of people are familiar with you, but it's very funny because we were talking about having you. You're in town. We're like, yeah, let's have him stop by. We loved having him on the first time. And then it dawned on us that it was during the Barstool Gold era.
Yeah.
So this should be new to a lot of other people.
For sure.
So thank you for coming by.
My pleasure. I just thought we were going drinking, so here we are.
Yeah.
We put your ass on pay-per-view last time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Behind the paywall.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to talk to you because I've been following some of your stuff recently. And I listened to, I think it was your most recent podcast where you came up with business ideas. And I really liked your business idea, which was it the toxic masculinity gym?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would do well in Chicago. Where I live in Santa Barbara, I don't think it would fly. Out here, though, that could be a thing.
Yes.
Wait, why is Santa Barbara? Santa Barbara's soft?
It's soft.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm definitely going to get some hate for saying this. I love living there. It's a great town. It's a soft town.
I don't think you can get hate for that because like California, once you go to California, you just become soft. But that's not like not in a bad way. It's just life is just more pleasant.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it. Yeah, the weather's nice. You don't have to be grumpy all the time.
Right.
But toxic masculinity. Just a gym where, it's nothing but bros and death metal and Hooters girls are working there. And I forget what else we said in our.
There's like a Zen station, I think.
That's it. There's a Zen station. You mix your pre-workout. Like there's a shaker there. They mix it for you.
There should be a girl that's working out doing very suggestive stretches, and then you approach her and you're like, hey, don't do that in my gym. My gym's not here for social media. My gym's here to work out.
That's it.
But you're filming that entire interaction for your social media.
Because on your end, you're like, listen, I'm the hero of the story.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So give a quick explainer for the people who might not be familiar with you. You basically have lived your life outdoors.
Yeah.
And you are one with nature in a way that we have never been. So you grew up in Zimbabwe and California, correct?
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, tell us the backstory of like when did you start falling in love with nature and animals and being like, this could be a real living here where I go look for animals that people think are extinct or
for sure.
do all these videos.
Yeah, so I grew up in the southern African country of Zimbabwe. My family ran safari businesses. So since I was really little, the only thing I really knew and cared about was wildlife and being outdoors. And in 2001, Zimbabwe had like really bad political turmoil. So my family came to the U.S. as refugees, and I came with them, bounced around government housing, all kinds of things, trying to get our feet under us. And the only thing that was like a common thread throughout my life, the only thing I really cared about was being outside and being kind of feral. Mm-hmm. And my sister grew up the same way, and she works in fashion. So I think it's just like the way I'm hardwired. And so went to school, became a biologist academically, graduated, thought I was going to change the world, wasn't changing the world as a biologist. And then through a whole bunch of weird series of events, I got the opportunity to go on camera and talk about wildlife. And that reached millions of people. And I was like, this is it. This is how I can actually make a difference in wildlife and conservation. And now I've been to, 80 plus countries, been bitten by everything, stung by everything, caught everything, had everything catch me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just doing it all over the world, and I love it. It's what I live for.
The break you had was you were on Naked and Afraid, right?
I had to bring it up, huh? Yeah.
Well, you dominated it.
I did. Yeah, I did. So the first thing I ever did, I came home from being a biologist, flopped down on the couch. I was exhausted. I spent 3 weeks in a hazmat suit in like 100-degree weather, spraying weeds. And my girlfriend at the time was like, you got to go on this stupid survival show. Like, I know how good you are at this stuff. And I went and did it, went back to being a normal biologist, and the show came out, and I crushed it. Like, I had one of the highest survival scores in the show's history. I thought it was like a vacation. I had a blast. I barely lost any weight, unfortunately. And and then, I was like, this is my opportunity. So I started actually like writing TV shows and putting them together, like reality shows, unscripted adventure shows. And it took 3 years from when Naked and Afraid came out till wasn't long before I saw you guys, where I walked into my now business partner's office and was like, hey, let's do this show. He owned a production company, and he was like, yeah, let's try it. And I was like, holy crap. And then it managed to get a pilot and get picked up and turned into a series and another series and so on.
That's awesome.
That is very cool.
Because you have a lot of the reality television people go on reality television and then they're like, oh, I'm talented in this way. You actually were talented.
Right.
Went to reality television for one episode, and that luckily helped like spawn what you are now.
Well, my whole thing is like I've always just stayed true to what I care about, which is wildlife. So even while I was in Naked and Afraid in the jungle, you know, running around with my balls out, I was like grabbing snakes and talking to them about in the camera, and the guy's like, "Are you gonna kill this thing and eat it or not?" And I was like, "Oh no, I just wanted to tell you about it." And they're like, "Well, that's weird." So I've just always sort of stayed true to what I care about, which is talking about wildlife and adventure. Because I think when people connect to the outdoors, it's the best thing for them.
Yeah.
When you moved to the United States from Zimbabwe, were there any animals that like we take for granted here in the United States that are around everywhere that you became fascinated with because you're like, oh, this is new, this is interesting?
Oh, big time. So salamanders and newts are like a new world species, meaning they don't occur in Africa. And I remember like we came to Oakland, California in the early 2000s. It was a rough neighborhood back then. And my mom got a call from the Oakland Police Department because I'd run off from our like little apartment building and I was waist deep in the middle of the park catching newts. And they'd come and grab me and pulled me out because they're like, "What are you doing here?" Because it's like, you know, San Francisco, everybody's walking around in their North Face jackets. Like they're not like a kid in the mud in the middle of a park catching newts. And I was just like enamored with these things. I'd never seen like a water lizard before, you know? And then underwater, California is epic. Like there's white sharks and seals and sea lions. I grew up in a landlocked country, so all the ocean stuff was incredible to me.
Yeah. So what's the scariest animal that you've ever encountered? Like not face to face, but pretty much face to face.
I mean, scariest animal for me is mosquitoes, hands down. That's a boring ass answer.
Yeah. Oh, shit. So we've kind of
We're adventurers.
You've done it.
I'm a really wildlife expert myself.
Wait, why are mosquitoes? Just because they have all diseases?
Exactly. They carry the worst stuff.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, but that's a boring answer. I mean, I've had some pretty bad stuff. A couple stingray stings, charged by an elephant. I've had my canoe flipped by a hippo. Like we've had some close calls.
That sounds scary to me. The hippo, I've always heard they're the most dangerous animal.
Yeah, they're the most unpredictably aggressive. So they can be totally calm and then just kind of snap, you know?
What is that about hippos?
Well, what it is hippos they're not actually like a very aggressive animal. They're just a very nervous creature. And if a hippo can't submerge, meaning go all the way underwater, that's when they panic and attack. So their fight or flight is almost always fight. So if you trap a hippo in any situation where it can't go underwater, it feels like it has to fight to get out of that situation. So if you're taking your canoe and the riverbank's, you know, on this side and the canoe's stuck between you, or the hippo's stuck between you and the deep water, he's going to flip your canoe over. He's going to try and kill you to get to that deep water. So any situation where they feel even slightly cornered, they're like, time to...
So hippos aren't really like, it's not they're ferocious. They're just kind of like nervous bitches.
Totally, 100%. And people don't know this. They either think they're cute and cuddly or ferocious.
Right.
They're just nervous bitches. Straight up. They're like on edge all the time.
Hippos just needed someone to be like, they needed to smoke a little weed and just be like, dude, it's okay.
You just got to start shooting them with Xanax, you know, and then they just mellow out. Yeah.
They're so big and strong and fast that when they do get nervous, they can kill anything.
Yeah.
100%.
So there's probably animals that are like them out there that have that same nervous energy to them.
Right.
That just don't have the ability to murder anything.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Right.
What about that? What about that crocodile Gustave? Are you familiar with the legend of Gustave?
I am.
Because I've heard both sides on Gustave. Some people think that some of his numbers are inflated. Some people think that they're not inflated enough. So can you just explain like who Gustave is and whether or not he's the real deal?
Yeah, Gustave was a notorious crocodile that allegedly killed like 12 people or something like that.
I think it was way more than that.
Was it more than that? And he was allegedly, I want to say 26 feet long, something like that. It was supposed to be the largest crocodile in history. You guys can fact check me on all of this. I think those numbers are likely inflated.
Because the numbers that are attributed to Gustave are 200 to 300 people.
Okay, so a little more than 12. But he was a famous man-eating crocodile that was said to be like 26 feet long or something like that. My take on that is definitely a true man-eating crocodile. Crocodiles are one of only 3 animals in the world that actually choose to hunt and eat people.
Wait, what are the other 2?
Polar bears and tigers.
They want us as snacks.
They will actually choose to eat people. Like everybody thinks of sharks, right? Oh, sharks eat people. Sharks don't want to eat people. No interest.
Right.
Polar bears, tigers, crocodiles want to eat people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which is scary because I'm going to doing polar bears for the first time in like 3 weeks. So
you are?
Yeah.
Just bring them we drink Pepsi here, but you could bring them the other one.
Yeah.
Here you go. Have
Yeah.
a Coke and a smile.
There you go.
Fine.
Yeah. Their
So
mascot.
Are you afraid of polar bears? I've heard that if you are in an area with polar bears around, you just need to be like always awake, high alert, because if they smell you, they can smell you from miles away.
Right.
And if they want to kill you, you're already dead.
I think that's relatively true. I wouldn't say I'm scared of them because I've never experienced them, but I'm wary because it's a totally different thing. And we're doing it on foot up in the Arctic in Canada, which I've never done before. So I'm really looking forward to it because my whole thing is figuring out all these interactions with wildlife, but it's a little bit different from like, oh, if I touch that snake, it might bite me. You know, that's a little bit different from like, oh, there's a polar bear somewhere around camp. So it'll be interesting, but I'm really excited for it.
What's the gnarliest snake that you've been bitten by?
The gnarliest one is probably, and to be clear, I don't try and get tagged by any of these things, but
You've definitely tried a couple times. There's a couple snakes where you're like, go ahead, bite me.
oh, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
doing that at a pet shop yesterday.
You're a sick fuck. Yeah.
But the gnarliest one is probably when I was a teenager. I got bitten by a little snake called a rhombic night adder. But when you're a kid, the venom from that can potentially kill you, and it did put me into like a small coma for a couple days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was playing with a snake down by the dam at our farm. I was 13 years old, and I got bitten playing with it, and I was like, ooh, that's not good. So I circled it on my arm, and I wrote the name of the snake down on my arm. I jumped on my little Pee Wee 50 motorbike to rush back to the house to tell my mom, and I just remember like my vision going like this. And the next, apparently, like some of the guys that were working on the farm saw me just like wipe out, and they thought I just like hit a bump, right, and wiped out. So my mom came, grabbed me, threw me in the truck, and saw that I'd written it and circled it on my arm, rushed me to the hospital, and they were able to treat me.
Wow. So if you hadn't written that down, you could have died.
Maybe, because they would have thought it was a concussion
that
or
you
anything.
got in a bike accident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably the worst one.
You think that it's because you live in Santa Barbara that you have to go out and seek all these like extreme, uncomfortable sometimes behaviors? Like if you lived in Youngstown, Ohio, would you still have that thirst to go out like to the Australian outback?
Probably
Like,
more so, right?
You think so?
I mean, maybe not if I'd grown up in Ohio, but I think for me, it's not really about like the thrill seeking. Don't get me wrong. Like I won't tell you I don't enjoy it, but it's more about like communicating to the world how cool are these creatures, how cool are these adventures, like trying to inspire people to like care about the planet and getting outside and specifically the wildlife.
Yeah. One thing you do a lot of is, I guess, describing whether or not animals that are listed as extinct are actually extinct.
Yeah.
Like truly extinct, because sometimes they get put on the list because they're hard to find.
Totally.
And they're in these remote locations. It's expensive. It's cost prohibitive to go there and spend all those resources trying to be like, oh, here's a seahorse that I found that nobody's seen in like 20 years or whatever.
Exactly.
I had a thought though, sometimes would it be beneficial if there's an animal that is, let's say, almost extinct? Let's say maybe there's like 50 or 100 left in the wild. Would it be beneficial to have whatever the governing body is say, yeah, the animal's extinct, because that way people won't go and try to hunt it anymore?
I've thought about that as well, like from an ethicality standpoint. The problem is if you do that, it's like turning a blind eye. So there's no protections that can be put in place. So if you do that in an insanely remote place where nobody's actually looking for the animal or hunting it, sure, that could be beneficial to let sleeping dogs lie. But without exposure, there's no protections, right?
Right.
Whereas, like, for instance, like with the leopard that we found or the tortoise that we found, if we hadn't gone and found those, nothing would have been done to attempt to preserve it.
Yeah.
Likely somebody would have come along and just shot it or collected it, and you never would have heard about it, right?
Yep.
Because it would have just ended up in soup or a skin or who knows what. So I think as long as it's handled the right way, the exposure for something that's been lost to science is really important, because then all of a sudden the government can come in and go, let's figure out how to protect this. Does it mean building a national park? Does it mean, collecting them and breeding them in a facility? Like whatever it happens to be, to try and help and hang on.
What's your white whale animal that you think might not be extinct that you want to find?
There's a couple. I think right now the one that's at the top of my list, this is as recent as like 3 days ago, is I got a piece of information on, it's going to sound like a snooze, but the pink-headed duck, which is a little duck that lives in Asia with a bright pink head that hasn't been seen in like 50 years. And you
got a tip?
I got a tip, yeah. Got a tip, baby.
Okay.
A duck tip.
This is a pretty cool looking duck.
It's cool, right? It's
That's
pretty,
so funny that you got a tip. Somebody be like, yeah, I saw him down by the 7-Eleven.
My duck guy in Mongolia hit me up.
Yeah, you guys don't have a duck guy? But yeah, so I got a tip for this area in Myanmar that's a big swamp that this guy thinks he's seen several of them in the last few years. And so, we vet a lot of these things. It could all be smoke and mirrors, but it also could be legit.
Yeah. So what else? What other ones?
That one's very high on my list. The one that sits on the top, reigns supreme, is an animal called a thylacine. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that's not a werewolf.
It's like a werewolf.
It's yeah.
Tasmanian tiger is the other name for it. Yeah, so I've gone to Tasmania and tracked it there, not found anything. I've gone to Australia twice and looked for it there, not found anything. And because they used to range like 4,000 years ago, all the way from New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, Australia, and Tasmania, there are still ongoing reports from like tribes and villages of striped dogs and all these things in Papua New Guinea. So that's the area that I think needs the biggest exposure. And we have this whole plan put together, 300 trail cameras, the whole thing to like go out and do a big survey to find this thing in Western Papua. So that's like the white whale, right? That's the top of the charts. But it's funny because that animal has now developed a somewhat like Bigfoot demeanor. It's from Australia, right? Australians are crazy. So they're all like, they see it like they're Bigfoot. So it's a bummer because it's not a made-up cryptid thing. It's a legit animal.
Right.
Nobody's seen one since the, 50 years or whatever it is.
That's crazy.
There was one in the National Zoo.
In Hobart, yeah. In Hobart, Tasmania, they had one named Benjamin.
Yeah, so this is like a legitimate animal. And, And people, when was the last sighting of it?
I mean, confirmed sighting was like 12 years. It was like 7 or 8 years after Benjamin died, whatever that year that is, the one in the zoo. But unconfirmed, probably yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You have all these like Australian rednecks out there in the middle of the country going, I saw one, it ate my sheep. They don't sound like that, but yeah. So there's reports coming in all the time.
That's fascinating.
So how do you do that? If you wanted to go to Papua New Guinea and find the thylacine, what's your strategy? How do you go about finding an animal that nobody's seen?
Well, it depends on each of these things is unique, right? Looking for a snail versus looking for a Tasmanian tiger, two very different surveys and structures and everything else. For this, we need a big group of people. It's like a 3-week trek into the area that we want to go. Then we'd establish a base camp. We'd spread out from there and do baited cameras, drone surveys, sound traps, all kinds of different technology for up to like 3 months, and then collect all the data and go through it. And some of that's actual trapping, some of that's sitting in blinds, some of it's just, remote cameras, trail cameras, things like that. So it's a big to-do to put it all together, but we have some real hot tips from that region.
Have you ever, that sounds incredible, what goes on behind like trying to find an animal like that. Have you ever had luck where you've just shown up and seen it like day one?
Oh, yeah. So the biggest find we've ever had is this Fernandina Island tortoise, which it's literally the rarest animal in the world. There's only one known living individual, and it's the one that we found. And before that, they'd only ever seen one before 114 years ago, right? And it's funny because somewhat controversial, but I remember talking to the government in the Galapagos and being like, hey, we're going to go look for that. And the guy literally like laughed at me like, what a clown, basically, right? He's like, sure, permit approved. Go like knock yourself out, right? Like quit wasting my time. And we went there and we found it on day 3.
What?
Yeah. And we like had like a whole like massive survey. We're going to cover the island, blah, 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 blah. We were just hiking.
Was it swimming or on the land?
No, it was on land. We like came over this little like lava rock ridge into this green area. And we're like, there's tortoise poop. 5 minutes later, we're like, there's the tortoise.
Holy
shit. It was
shit.
like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, but I literally like dove on it like it was a cheetah. It was a tortoise. And I just picked it up. It was like, holy shit.
That's
like the
crazy.
rarest animal in the world.
And how old was that tortoise?
Probably around 70, 80 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have a box turtle here. His name's Mr. Pear.
Yeah,
Mr.
Pear.
He's the only of his kind because he's the only gambling turtle.
We're going to go wrestle him after the show.
Okay, yeah. I was in the Galapagos. This was like 12 years ago. Nice. And I did this big tour, and we had a local guide that was showing us around every day. Mm-hmm. And so on day 4 we were there. He was like, this is going to be my favorite day of the tour. You're going to meet Lonesome George.
Yes.
The last of his kind,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
What was he, a Pinta Island tortoise or
exactly
something like
right.
that?
Yep.
He's like the last of his kind. Some people said he was 80. Some people said he was like 170 years old. Mm-hmm. And everything in the Galapagos, there's just flags and merch that you can buy everywhere with Lonesome George's face on it or his body. And so I'm psyched. And we're getting down from the beach. He's driving us back in this little Jeep. And then he pulls over to the side of the road because he's getting a call, and he starts to cry. And he's like,
no.
Lonesome George just died. He died probably 8 hours before I was going to see him.
No way.
I was so bummed out. But now I'm thinking like maybe there's another Lonesome George out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is. It's our tortoise Fern, right? And she's the one, like it's a different species, the Fernandina versus the Pinta.
Yeah.
But so the tortoise we found lives in Lonesome George's old enclosure.
Oh, cool.
She lives right there at the Fausto Lorena Breeding Center now.
So now do you have to find a male to...
That's the goal. Yeah, so I handed that over to the Galapagos government. Like, I'm like the hide and seek king, right? They just bring me in to find it and then I roll out. And they've unfortunately conducted 3 or 4 more trips trying to find another one and not succeeded. So they're continuing to try. I wish them the best, but so far no luck.
There's got to be a girl out there.
Got to be.
It can't be a sausage fest. So once they get this, if they were to find a female tortoise and introduce it to that habitat, then you run into the second problem, right? Because tortoises, they don't really like to fuck that much.
So the one we found is actually a female. So they're looking for a male.
Okay.
He's
got to be horny. He hasn't.
Yeah.
You'd think
been by himself in the woods
for probably 100 years.
Yeah.
He'd probably want to get his rocks off. So no. I mean, if they found them and put them together, I think it would probably happen. And the truth is that because they're all pretty closely related, you could probably take any male tortoise of any of the other species and put it in there, and it would probably happen. But that'll obviously muddy the gene pool, right? It's its own species. So. I hope they find a male. I really do. We saw evidence of another one like 2 or 3 miles from the one we found. So I think there are maybe some more individuals on that island.
What's that feeling like when you see something that people thought was going off the face of the earth? What's the rush?
The first time it happened, I actually didn't believe it was happening. And I was sitting on a bus in Zanzibar reviewing thousands of trail camera footage, right? Trail camera is like a game camera you put out in the woods. And I was like, clip, 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 clip. And you don't film me reviewing every clip because the odds of finding something are nearly nothing, right? All of a sudden I clicked and I saw this leopard just walk across the camera frame. And I like looked around. I was like, this can't be real. And I clicked it again. And then I threw my laptop off, ran over, headbutted my sound guy. Swear to God. Like I literally like blacked out. Like I just lost control. I was like, pull the bus over! Pull the fucking bus over! Somebody thought I was like dying. You know what I mean? I just like freaked out. I might have pissed myself. I'm not even sure, but no, I didn't. But it was, I just like lost control. Like I couldn't actually believe it had happened. And then, since then we've found a lot of really rare stuff. So I'm starting to get slightly more used to it, but the rush never goes away.
Yeah,
like,
I'd imagine.
It's the rarest thing in the world. Like for me, to find that to me is there's no greater accomplishment. So.
Yeah.
What about here in North America, in the United States? Are there any animals that have been labeled extinct that you think maybe still exist?
Yeah, there's one that. Did you guys have Colossal, the de-extinction company, on one of the Barstool shows? I think you did. Ben Lamb.
Maybe. He might have been on one of the shows.
Yeah, not yours, but one of the shows. I think he was on a Barstool thing. But I'm working with him at Colossal Biosciences, and we're putting together a survey to potentially go look for the Florida rainbow snake, which is a snake that's only been seen like 2 or 3 times, lives like under the mud, under the water, so really hard to find, right? And I don't think one's been confirmed since the 70s. And South Florida rainbow snake. Yeah, so I think I definitely think it still exists. I think it's still around. It's just a really elusive creature.
That's so cool.
All right, we're going to take a break in the interview to let you guys know that part of my take is brought to you by Catalyst. Try the only FDA-cleared at-home EMS suit backed by 60 years of science and used by pro athletes, movie stars, and now stud podcasters and me. I have been using the Catalyst suit all summer. Been a lot of talk about the summer Hank, a lot of travel, a lot of golf, a lot of work trips. And the Catalyst suit has helped me stay in good shape. Like the dunk training is still on a good pace. We've been making progress, and it's really all thanks to the Catalyst suit, whether it's squeezing in a 20-minute session here at the studio or suiting up at camp for an intense lower body workout. The Catalyst suit has me covered. The Catalyst EMS suit is a high-tech fitness solution that uses electromuscle stimulation technology to optimize your workout effectiveness. This EMS suit sends precise electrical impulses directly to all major muscle groups, causing them to contract and activating twice as many muscles as any traditional workout in just 20 minutes. That's the best part. You guys have seen me here before we record, while we're watching games. It's not a, big ask. You just got to throw it on, 20 minutes, boom, you're done, feeling great. Catalyst is truly the one-stop shop for the best, most efficient workout of your life. It's like having a personal trainer embedded in your workout gear, pushing you to achieve more in less time and allowing you to enjoy a workout experience that's 100% customized for you. If you suffer from back pain, EMS is for you. If you're looking for a low-impact, full-body workout, then the Catalyst suit is for you. Try the fitness solution that golfers are using to up their swing speed, actors are using to get ready for their next role, and podcasters are using to dunk and get Super Bowl abs. Visit catalyst.com/PMT to learn more.
And then what were you doing? You were in Illinois. You said you were swimming with the Asian carp, which are, how does that happen, by the way? Can you explain the Asian carp? Because people have probably seen the videos where they're jumping out of the rivers in the Midwest, and they're very dangerous for, like, they're invasive species. People, I've seen videos where guys are shooting them with shotguns, and everyone's like, why would you kill these fish? Like, no, they actually
kill
should.
them. Yeah. Kill as many as you can.
Explain how they got here, how it works, and then will they ever be gone?
For sure, yeah. So in Peoria, Illinois, on the Illinois River, a couple places, but Peoria is like the HQ of it, there are these invasive Asian flying carp, okay? And what happens is these carp were introduced, I think, for food some 50 or 60 years ago, and because they have no natural predators here like they do where they're from, their population has exploded to the point that they now make up something like 75% of the biomass in that river. So 75% of living organisms in that river are these carp. And I could show you guys some videos, but because their defense mechanism when they're startled is to jump, which is a very unique thing among fish, you can drive a boat through these schools of fish, and all of a sudden what looks like this beautiful, placid piece of river erupts with 10,000 fish flying into, like, 15 feet into the air. So we just started a YouTube channel about a year ago, which is just a fun thing, like something we were going to try out because, you know, I've been on TV a long time, but TV's kind of on its way out, like cable TV. So we're like, let's start a YouTube channel. And we decided to go to Peoria to look at the invasive flying carp for our YouTube channel. And we're filming, and we did some hilarious stuff. I was getting towed around in an inner tube with 10,000 fish jumping at like 40 miles an hour. I'm covered in bruises. I don't even know if you could see them.
Fish smacking into you?
So hard, dude. I thought I was going to get knocked out. I took one to the dick. It was terrible. Like, I couldn't breathe for like 20 minutes. It was like jackass level ridiculousness. But it was super fun. And so, so we were there trying to promote that people should go out and harvest these things and try and bring their numbers down.
Yeah, so will they ever be able to get these numbers down? Like, I assume they shock the river every now and then?
They do. Yeah, so they put out these big plates, shock the river, zap these whole schools of fish, and there have been like a government-level effort at eradicating them for, I think, 5 or 6 years now. And according to like our guy who was driving the boat, who was with us from this Peoria Carp Hunters, he said it's gone down substantially. Like, it used to be the whole river was exploding. So it sounds like they're knocking it down. The problem is these things can spawn, an individual carp can spawn 1 million eggs multiple times a year.
Holy shit.
So the likelihood of getting rid of them, I would say, is zero. You'll never get rid of them.
And how did they get there? Someone brought one over? Like, how does that work?
With 1 million eggs being spawned, all you need is one pregnant one to get in the river, and that's it, right? And it's an exponential growth. So it's like, okay, there's 1 million eggs, maybe only 100,000 survive, or maybe 10,000 survive, but then that 10,000 reproduces 1 million each, another 10,000 each, you know what I mean? So it's exponential growth, and they're still not at capacity. Like, if the commercial efforts to remove them stopped, probably go from 75% of the biomass to 99% of the biomass.
That's crazy. Can you at least eat them?
You can. They're okay. I'll be honest.
I wish they were tasty. That would solve the problem.
If they were salmon, it'd be no issue, right?
Are they fun to catch?
Oh, they're so much fun to catch.
Okay.
Because you're shooting them out of the air with bows, and you're on this inner tube with a net, and
Can you catch them with a rod? Like, will they bite like
no.
eater? Oh, they won't.
Because they're filter feeders. So they're actually eating plankton in the water. They're going through and like slurping up everything, kind of like a whale shark, like the big gill rakers and stuff. I mean, you could probably snag them with a hook or something, but they're not actually trying to eat. So you have to come up with these outrageous other methods to catch them, and I'll tell you, it is wild. Like, it's really fun.
What about just going on like, I don't know, water skis with a baseball bat?
Done.
Just
no
swinging
problem.
away as they jump in the air.
You can absolutely do that.
That would be a good fantasy football punishment, actually. Just having somebody in an inner tube just get dragged around the river for like 3 hours, just walloped with carp.
If you set that up, I will take your guy who loses at fantasy and get his butt kicked by carp for you. No problem.
Fish flying into his face.
Yeah.
What about the Mexican grizzly bear?
Yeah.
That's an interesting, because it's like a silver bear, right? It's not white, it's not brown, it's got like a silver tint.
Exactly right. Yeah, they called it I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like oso platido, like platinum bear. And it meant the silver bear. And so grizzlies used to roam, now we think of grizzlies, we think of Alaska, whatever, right? Way up north. They used to roam all through North America down into Mexico, and Mexico had its own subspecies, which was the Mexican grizzly, the silver grizzly bear. In the 70s, I want to say, there was one in a zoo somewhere, and it died, and it was like, oh, that's the end of the species. Then 14 years later, a Mexican hunter shot one and brought it into town. So the species hung on 14 years after we thought it would have gone extinct. And it was a big, beautiful, silvery bear. And the region that it lives in is still a pretty remote, like mountainous region. And there are still farmers going, oh, something came down last night and took my livestock. It's definitely not a puma, So there's like a faint shred of hope that it's still out there.
And is that in like cartel country?
Oh, yeah.
So that makes it a little bit more dangerous to go hunting for them. It'd be tough to explain to the Zetas, like, no, I'm just looking for a bear.
I think you could still do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. So I go down to Baja a lot, and I run into cartel guys quite regularly. And they're the nicest guys. I'm not saying they're nice outside of when you're having an interaction, but as long as you don't go and get in their way, you know what I mean? They're not getting in your way kind of thing. Like, don't cross any lines. Don't be an idiot. Just be polite and respectful. I think you could probably pull it off, but it is very, like, deep in the heart of where all the turmoil is.
Yeah. I love all these stories about all these different animals. Give me another one that's a scary animal that you've been, like, close to. The polar bears, I can't wait to hear how that goes.
That'll be fun.
But what's another, like, whether it be a gorilla, snake? We're pussies. We're city guys. I talk a lot of shit on animals, being like, I could take down a bear, knowing that I'll never face one.
Let's give ourselves some credit. There was an instance when we were out in Southern California, we were playing frisbee.
True.
And a coyote walked right past us.
I was ready to take it.
And we just yelled at the coyote. We were like, come back here, get some, bitch.
Nice.
And the coyote stopped and looked at me, and then I was like, no, you can keep walking. And
You thought he looked at you like, I'm not messing with them. He looked at you like, ugh, and just kept going.
Yeah, but then
coyote? You think I could take a coyote?
I do think you could take a coyote. They're pretty scrawny, and you're a big guy.
Yeah.
I think
I'd fuck the coyote up.
Yeah.
The best is it walks away from us, and then we're like, yeah, walk away, bitch.
That's
like
smart.
making us feel like we scared it off.
Yeah,
we had a pug with us, so we didn't want the pug to get attacked.
He would have eaten the pug for sure. For sure. Another scary critter, right? That's
or animal that you've gotten really close to, or seen that's like majestic.
One of the hardest things we've ever done, which to me is still one of my greatest accomplishments, is 2 or 3 years ago we performed the largest elephant translocation in history. So we put together, it's a crazy story. I sold this whole TV show, and I took all the resources from the show and put it into this one conservation thing. So then the rest of the season was kind of fucked, but it was awesome because it was so worth it. Because I got a call from a buddy of mine from Zimbabwe, from my childhood, who goes, Forrest, it's so tragic. There's this herd of 24 elephants that they're going to shoot right outside the city of Maputo because they're running through villages and they're killing people and they're squashing crops and everybody's angry with them. There's nothing we can do. And I was like, what do we need to do? He's like, we need like a big chunk of money and we can catch them and move them to this national park that's 300 miles away. I was like, give me a week. And I called in every favor, every resources, got all this money, went there, flew into Mozambique, and I won't bore you with all the specifics, but literally 3 helicopters, 4 semi-trucks, 2 crane trucks, a crew of 60 people, this huge operation, and successfully tranquilized, captured, loaded onto flatbeds, loaded into containment trucks, and transported 24 elephants without losing a single one. Yeah, and there was some crazy stuff there because, you're in a helicopter, you're darting an elephant, then you have 3 minutes from when you hit it till the tranquilizer takes effect and it falls to the ground. So you have to get 3 minutes, you have to try and herd it with your helicopter. Then the second it hits the ground, you jump out, you run over. Elephants suffocate if they don't breathe through their trunks. So if they land on their trunk, they're dying. So you have 3 minutes to rip its trunk out from it, to let it breathe, to keep it stable. Then you cut a road in, literally hand cut a road in comes a semi-truck with a crane that lifts it up, puts it on a flatbed, then moves it into a conveyor belt truck that moves it into a transport truck.
Holy shit.
It was insane, man. And we're there's a clip of me in one of these shows where we hit one of the babies, but the dart doesn't go in all the way, and it's trying to stay around its mom. So it's freaking out, and I have to run over and tackle this thing to the ground to try and put it down and then give it more tranquilizer. And there's elephants all around. There's helicopters overhead. It was insane. But at the end of the day, the part of it that was so magical to me was it was all this blur of adrenaline and craziness, and my one cameraman nearly died when an elephant kicked over a door and it nearly crushed him. It was insane. But then we got there, 40-hour drive, and we get there and we open the doors and out go these elephants in this protected national park, and literally the last one runs out, looks back and trumpets a thank you, and then runs off into the bush, and we're they're gonna live, they're safe.
Awesome.
And it was just such a rewarding thing to do.
That's so
sounds
cool.
like a great feeling.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
How long do you think you could make it just doing a 9-to-5 job? If you were an accountant, if you woke up tomorrow and you're okay, you got to commute 45 minutes each way, You're going to work in this cube, then go home.
Maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd be on really good behavior for the first day, like pretty cranky the second day, and undeniably get fired on the third day.
Did you ever think about, like, when you graduate from college, I don't know how your career went right after graduation, but for a lot of people, there's like a little in-between time where you don't know if your desired career, the one that you really want to do, is going to work out. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll just take a job because I need money. I got to have a place to live. I got to afford food. Like, was there a moment where you thought, like, okay, maybe I will just try to do something corporate for a little bit?
For sure. Yeah. I got out of college and I was working as a biology field tech, making like $12 an hour. And I like moved up the ladder in that because I was good at it. Like I'd go out way harder, way longer than everybody else because I loved being outside. But what's so shitty about the sciences in that field, the better you get, the less time you spend in the field. Now it's like, oh man, you're really good at this. Move into the office, start writing grant proposals, manage a team.
Right.
And so I started moving up.
Yeah.
And I remember the day I walked into my boss Morgan's office and I was like, I want to go back to being a tech. He's like, you'll make half your salary. I was like, I don't care. I just rather be outside doing stuff than doing this. And he's like, okay, I guess. Like, it's terrible for everybody, but if you want. And he like didn't understand it. I'm like, I don't want to be sitting in an office writing grant proposals. Like, I want to be out in the field. So, yeah, I mean, I was on that ladder, you know, and then the TV thing happened and it was a full pivot.
Yeah, it's like the farther up you get, the more disconnected you get from the actual work.
Which isn't that fucked up?
Yeah.
Because that's the opposite of how it should be. If you're an expert in adventure or wildlife or sciences or whatever, you should have to be working with the thing all the time to say that you're an expert on it. And what's crazy is, especially in the sciences, in the biological sciences, the further up the chain you get, the less time you get to actually interact and be observational with the creature.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in sports all the time with coaches, where it's like, oh, this guy's a great, defensive line coach, and he's so good. He's now a defensive coordinator. Now he's head coach. He can't coach this position the way he used to.
100%. Yeah. I'm a big rugby guy. Like Razzie Erasmus, the head coach of the Springboks, he sits in a box watching them all coach, and that's like mandated by World Rugby. And it's like, he's the best coach that's ever existed. He should be on the pitch. Exactly.
Yeah, what Big Cat described is why we don't have Jim Tom Sulas anymore.
Yeah.
Just got elevated to the point of incompetence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then now
your
it's
hands
looked
tied.
down on. Yeah.
Messed up, man. It doesn't make any sense.
How long, I know you did the Naked and Afraid, but how long could you survive if we just dropped you anywhere? Was it forever? I mean, what would you...
No. Survival for me is like, it's a means to an end, you know? And what I mean by that is, I'm by no means the greatest survivalist or anything like that that's ever done it. Probably 99% of the people that have done shows like Naked and Afraid, Survivor are better at it than I am.
Yeah.
I just have a different mentality. I like it. I think it's fun. I'm not the guy that breaks down and cries about how hungry he is. I'm like, I don't know. I'll just go find some food. So like, I have a different mentality, but I don't have the technical skills that most of these survivalists have.
Got it.
Like, I can rub sticks together and make a fire because I've done it a handful of times out of necessity. I'm not a weekend warrior who spends every Saturday training and prepping and figuring out little fish hooks and stuff like that. Like I'm more focused on the wildlife sciences.
Yeah.
So with the polar bear thing, what's your goal for the polar bear expedition? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, so we're filming it for the YouTube that I mentioned, and the goal is to show people that they aren't mindless killing machines. Like they are really cool animals. So we're doing it on foot, like as a walking safari, walking up on polar bears. And I don't want to say anything before it's happened, but the goal is to be not interactive because we don't want to disturb them, but close enough in proximity to show, like, look at this, these giant white bears. They know we're here. They're choosing not to kill us or eat us, and we're just sitting here observing them. So
but
that's
wait,
the goal.
is there a chance you could be wrong?
Well, yeah. There's
what
always
if you just walk by and they just all of them charge you?
That would not be good.
Yeah.
That would not be good. I'm working with so we're doing this in Manitoba, Canada. I'm working with their travel board. I have a feeling there'll be a guy there with bear spray and a rifle and, all that kind of stuff. But, they've done it before, to be clear, the Manitoba travel. And we are going to test the boundaries of distance and everything else. So, there'll be a little give and take.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of scary to be like,
if
we
were
think
wrong,
they're not killing machines. And they're like, no, we are.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'll tell you this. If I said that about crocodiles, and I'll get some hate from some of my close friends, alligators, American crocodiles, sure. But if you say they're not mindless killing machines about crocodiles, like Nile crocs or saltwater crocs, they're mindful killing machines. Like they're intentionally trying to figure out how to kill you.
You did. Yeah. Didn't you like swim? Did you do something where you put like crocodile, you wore basically crocodile armor?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure thing. So we went down to this place in Central America with American crocodiles, crystal clear water. And I designed the suit that had electroreceptive blocking technology. It's called a hex suit. It's kind of like what's in the door of your microwave. You could stare at a microwave without frying your brain. And so it had that technology in it. But then to go one step further, we made it all crocodile print and theme and colors and stuff, with the idea of it being like biomimicry, like look like a croc, act like a croc, and maybe the crocs won't eat you. And then we hopped in the water and dove with these crocodiles, and it worked. Like
they didn't bother you.
So look, I'll be honest, I don't think you see this in the little film we made, but I had a broomstick with me for the first day and a half, and every time they get too close, I'd put the broomstick between me and the crocs and be like, look, you just kind of approach me. And then after doing that and conditioning them a little bit, they were like, okay, this thing that I think I'm going to go investigate is like a wooden stick. Like I'm going to leave it alone. So then I was able to leave the stick alone and actually swim and interact with them.
That's crazy.
So scary.
You're also kind of insane. No disrespect.
I don't think
I'll
kind
take
of.
that.
But I think it's very.
I'll take that.
But to put on a crocodile suit, maybe they'll think I'm a crocodile and then just swim around freely. Maybe I don't know. Like Big Cat said, we're kind of pussies. But when you're talking about animals that might get a bad rap, like bad PR, you're thinking maybe polar bears have been branded a little bit unfairly as mindless killing machines. I mean, they do kill and they have killed.
Yep.
But they don't kill for fun. They don't kill for sport, maybe. What are some other animals out there that you think have a bad PR team?
I think none go more so than sharks.
Yeah.
Right? Like sharks have the worst PR, especially Florida. It's like another shark attack. Don't come to the beaches, right?
The news loves it.
The news loves it. And I know because I speak on the news about this pretty often. I'm always trying to say the same thing, which is sharks just being a shark. Anytime you enter into the ocean, you are signing a mental waiver of hey, I'm going into something else's domain. Yeah. It's the only time, especially in North America, where we're not at the top of the food chain. If you're swimming in the ocean off the coast of North America, you are no longer the apex, right? There are things above you in the food chain that can eat you, and you just have to be okay with that. And sharks aren't trying to eat you. Most of the time, they're coming around doing what's called an investigatory bite, where they're just going, is this food bite? Because that's how they taste something. You go, oh, yuck, I don't like human. It's gross, and that's it. But that bite is enough to kill people. So that's the problem.
And is there a thing, because it does feel like we'll just hear about, oh, yeah, this is a bad summer for sharks.
Right.
Is that real, or is it just...
When's the last summer there wasn't a bad summer for sharks?
True.
You know
it's always the summer of the shark.
There was that one. I actually went on vacation right by. I think it was on the Panhandle in Florida. There was that little
Vero.
Yeah, Rosemary Beach and all that stuff. There was that stretch where it was a 2-week stretch where.
That's right.
3 or 4 people were bitten, and it was what's going on down here?
So there's an interesting thing happening that most people probably don't realize. One is. You might have heard about this year. The water in Florida was 91 degrees in May. Right. The water was too hot. So when that happens, it speeds up the shark's metabolism. So when they get warmer, they need to eat more. Now, at the same time, when the sea gets too warm, all the bait fish disappear. They go really deep. So now you've got a bunch of hungrier sharks because their metabolisms are sped up, looking for food. More than they regularly would, more hungry than they regularly are in the dead of summer when everybody's going to the beach. So it's just this confluence of situations where it's I'm hungry, I'm looking for food, and then you have guys splashing in the water, playing football, or a chick with some jewelry on or something, and shiny things, and the sharks are just oh, that could be bait, boom, and they go and bite it, and that's the problem. It's
so they're not attacking, they're literally just thinking that it's food.
They're just hoping. They're oh, is this a food? Oh no, it's not. Gross, but a shark can't pick it up and touch it and go, oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Their way of figuring that out is a nip.
They nip you and then they're my bad.
Yeah.
And then you're bleeding to death. Yeah.
So people who are getting shark bit or bit by sharks are not even being fully bit by sharks.
No, they're being tasted. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's an appetizer. What about the inverse of that? Is there any animal that has a great PR team that is secretly kind of an asshole and dangerous?
Pandas.
Oh.
Really? Dude. Pandas.
No way.
They're dumb as shit. They will hand you could Google this. If you go to a panda in captivity and it has a baby and it's nurturing its cute little baby, and you put out an apple, it will hand you its baby and take the apple. Swear to God, nobody talks about this. They're dumb as shit. They're mean. They're bad terrible moms. Parents. Yeah. They're bad moms. Yeah, and we're oh, the panda. It's the symbol for WWF.
It's because there's videos where they're rolling around and looking dumb.
Because they're dumb. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. They got the easy street of PR, man. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
They are cuddly, though.
Yeah.
They're adorable. Yeah.
So I had one last question. This has been awesome. It's great to have you stop by. The Rowback question, RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, Rowback.com, promo code TAKE. So what animal Do we need even more people? We have a colleague who's very funny. His name's Nick, and he has a theory that more kids should have octopus as their favorite animal. That they just have a really bad. They're just not in children's books, but an octopus is like the coolest animal.
They're so smart.
They're so smart. One of the guys on my podcast is convinced that they're aliens. He believes it full-heartedly. This guy Peter on the Wild Times.
But you never see it, and they're never in. But you got foxes,
nothing.
You got pandas, you got raccoons,
they're always evil.
Sharks.
They got the tentacles, and it's like there's always the scary music playing.
Right.
Straight up. No, I love it. I think it's a great call. I think octopus are insanely intelligent. They can change the color of the skin, the texture of their skin. They can hide in anything. They can make a clamshell their home. They're epic predators. Like, they can go out and catch something without.
I saw a
trying.
video of one of them catching a shark the other day.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
They just reach out and grab it and pull it in. Yeah, they're awesome. I think more kids. I agree with Nick. I think more kids should have an octopus as their favorite animal.
Okay,
straight up.
That documentary,
do a book.
The Octopus Teacher.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
It's crazy, right?
The guy made friends with an octopus.
Straight up, yeah.
And they were just buddies, and they'd hang out every day.
Just pals. And it shows you that level of like cognitive intelligence where the octopus was like, oh yeah, this is like an actual friend to me, and it's benefiting me to have this relationship.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
I love octopus. What about orca? Where do they stand? Do they have a good PR team or bad PR team?
I think generally pretty bad because especially recently, right? They're knocking over boats and stuff.
Yeah.
Until that, orcas have never actually hurt or killed anyone in the wild. All those orca deaths have been in captivity. It's
that we know of.
That we know of.
Maybe they're actually just the best at covering it up.
Like the Zodiac? Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
true. The Zodiac orca.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. But I think that, people are really scared of orcas, and rightfully so. Like, I've dove in with orcas, and it's the only animal, and I might have a different answer to this after the polar bears, but the only animal I've ever been around where I feel completely useless. Like, if that orca wants to eat me, if it wants to smack me with its tail, wants to do anything, there's nothing I can do. You're in the water with a big shark, you swim at it, you like show aggressive body language, the shark's like, whoa, You're in the water with an orca, it's like you're a rag doll. Like, whatever they want to do, they're going to do. So I think that they probably get like a pretty bad rap overall, but for the most part, they until recently, I guess, they don't want to have anything to do with us.
Yeah. Speaking of orcas, there was a situation last summer. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there was an orca that was in Florida that was like kind of on her last leg. She wasn't doing well in captivity. The owner of the Colts, Jim Irsay, was going to pay like $3 million to fly it across the country and then put it in, I forget which body of water.
Let her go, though,
Seattle.
right?
Yeah, let her go. Basically, let her go into like a very large but contained area.
Yeah.
It was like a natural area.
I remember that.
How would you transport an orca? How can you fly an orca?
So they're like a lot of marine mammals, as long as they stay hydrated and wet because they're air breathing, they're actually okay. So this is a bad analogy, but how you can see a turtle crossing the road? And you're like, oh, there's a turtle, right? Like, it should be in water. It's fine as long as it's wet and, stays like that. So same thing with an orca. You can transport them. They don't have to be in a tank of water. They just have to be wet and hydrated. And so I imagine with that instance, you'd probably have it in some kind of a containment, but you'd pick up that container, fly it, and land it. And it's not like it'd be a giant fish tank. It would just need to be wet.
So you just put a big whale onto a giant plane
and
essentially have a bunch of hoses that spray the orca.
Hoses, wet blankets kind of thing, towels, just keeping it really hydrated and wet, water in its mouth, and then move it.
Wow.
Because our producer, Hank, said that it couldn't be done. He said, you can't move a whale.
He's wrong. He knows nothing.
Well, Forrest, thank you so much for stopping by. It was awesome to have you back on the show. Again, also awesome because people are going to hear this for the first time.
Yeah.
And everyone go check out his YouTube channel. And I'm excited to see the polar bears.
Thanks, buddy.
I be safe.
I will. I promise. We'll talk about it next time.
Yes, I hope so.
Me
Just be
too.
safe, okay?
Me too.
When is it coming out?
Probably like 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might have to save.
Can you text me when you get home safely?
Yeah.
Yes, I will text you both, boys.
Are your parents ever concerned? Are they like, what's for?
I don't tell them anymore. I just
yeah.
yeah. No,
It's kind of like us. We don't tell our parents
No.
our podcast.
We're all black sheep here.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Forrest.
Thanks, boys.
Appreciate it.
Forrest Galante was brought to you by our great friends over at Verizon. I've got Verizon. Verizon's the best, and they've got a great, great deal for you guys. It's the best time of year. It's football season. Verizon can help you win Sunday and be fully prepared for football watching with NFL Sunday Ticket, meaning that you can get your favorite teams out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. After the move to Chicago, I used NFL Sunday Ticket. I watch every Sunday Commanders game on my own terms so I can keep up with my team from afar. I can watch the Commanders games if I'm at home, if I'm on the go. Sneaky may be the best part. I'm at the office. We're in the gambling cave. Maybe I have to run to the restroom real quick. Guess what? Boom, Commanders game right there on my phone. Don't need to go out to the bars to catch a game. It relies on NFL Sunday Ticket to get the Commanders games that I want and need to watch and I can't live without. Now you can get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV to keep up with all your favorite teams and out-of-market games on Sunday afternoon too. Get an awesome deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube with Verizon.
Okay, it's time. The Mount Rushmore Re-Duel to decide who loses Mount Rushmore season. How we got here, if you missed the duel on Tuesday. PFT won on the votes, and then we found out there was maybe some graphic things that happened. I actually, for people who are saying Hank's a sore loser, I do not think he was ready to take the loss. It was PFT's decision to reduel.
It's my choice.
So I do not think Hank was in the wrong whatsoever. There also, when you look back, there was some Max asked specifically what should be on the graphic, and that did change. So I think we're fair for a reduel.
There are irregularities.
Yeah. So,
and I accept that. I'm happy. I am happy to abide by the outcome of this reduel.
So for the reduel, Max will say, what do you want on the graphic? And there will be no changes. Is that fair?
It's fair.
Not a single change from the words you want on the graphic. Hank?
Yep. That's fair.
Okay. All right. So it's going to be a 1 Mount Rushmore reduel. Before we do it, we have the hat with the punishments.
Ooh.
So you guys can pick, and this is actually fun because whoever ends up winning this will not have to do the punishment they picked, which is going to be a great cancellation. There's 4 punishments in here. There is LeBron's points. There's winning a natty in NCAA 25. There is running a marathon. And there is a 9-darter.
Doing a marathon.
Doing a marathon. Yeah, you're right. Doing a marathon.
Completing a marathon.
Completing 26.2 miles in one setting.
If I complete the marathon, can I not tell people about it?
Well, you're going to stream it, so
as long as I don't actually say the words, I
fair.
ran a marathon. Yeah.
All right. So, and you both get a veto. So if you pick one that you do not want to do, you can then just take it out of the hat.
Okay. Who picks first?
If you use your veto, you can't be like, oh, but actually I want to do that. That's fair?
Yep.
Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
PFT is taken from the hat. PFT, what is your pick?
My pick is LeBron's scoring record.
I would veto that if I were you.
How long do you think that's going to take?
I think it will take you like 4 days.
How many points could that guy have scored?
All right, quick math. How many threes did we say he hit?
Well, he scored 0 points in college.
How many threes has LeBron James hit? How many threes do you think you could hit in a minute, PFT?
2.
2 in a minute. So just the threes. So that would be, okay, so just the threes would take you...
2.5.
We're going to go with 2, and we'll just see. Just the threes would take you 20 hours.
Whew. And that's nonstop.
2 a minute.
And that's
2
nonstop.
a minute. Yeah.
You could hit more than 2 in a minute, though.
All right, let's say you could hit 5 in a minute.
Okay.
5 in a minute would be
10 hours ish.
So we just put an impossible thing on one of the punishments. Because no one was ever doing this, if that's what you're saying.
Well, no, you could shoot threes. That would take you 8 hours if you hit 5 a minute. I mean, Hank, you could probably hit 10 threes a minute. So that would take you 4 hours. Like, I think you could do it, Hank. I don't know.
Is it? And that's total.
No, that's just his threes.
Just his threes. Okay, yeah.
But it's just layups.
Yeah, then it's just layups and free throws.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to repick.
Okay. What pick do you have there?
I got marathon.
Oh, okay. So PFT will be completing a marathon if he loses. Give me it back.
Wait, when is said marathon?
Whenever I'd say it has to be within the next 3 months. Is that fair?
Oh, it's not the Chicago Marathon?
Well, we were saying we could do it, but I don't know if you can enter at this point.
I would almost rather
more hoops to go through.
I would rather do the marathon that's like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, than to have to wait 3 months and just have that over my head.
All right, so you want to say within a month?
I'll try to do the Chicago Marathon if I lose.
Okay. Yeah, so let's say by the Chicago Marathon, whether it be doing it on your own or doing the actual Chicago Marathon.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to spend like 3 months actually training for a marathon.
Correct.
The worst part is
That's perfect.
Yeah.
The Chicago Marathon is Sunday, October 13th.
Okay.
So you have to have completed a marathon by the end of Sunday, October 13th. And you could do it. You could do it. We could do a stream, or you could actually run it. We would have to find someone who'd run in front of you with the backpack.
Okay.
Hank, go on. Henry has picked
9-darter.
Oh.
I would veto that if I were you.
Well,
It
so we're
seems
not going to do
impossible.
regulation length. We've established that. It'd be a fair length, but
I'm gonna do it.
wow! I love it.
Now I want Hank to
Yes.
lose.
I didn't want to do like a marathon would kill me. The
So what
LeBron
exactly
thing
is
would
a
kill me.
9-darter again?
It's 180 points in
9
darts.
throws.
So you have to make 9 darts as triple 20s.
No.
No, you can do it in any order, right?
Yeah.
Is there multiple ways to get a 9-darter?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 9 triple 20s.
Oh no!
Or not
Wait,
9
no!
20s.
No! It's. Oh my God! It's even worse. It's 501 points in 9 darts.
Oh my God.
There's a bunch of different combinations, but
You have to get exactly 501?
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, there's a bunch of combinations. You get 3 20s, 3 19s, and a double 12. 3 20s, 3 15s, and a double 18. 3 17s, 3 18s, and a double 18.
Those seem like they might be doable.
And then there's also 3 20s, 3 19s, and a bullseye.
Because what were it was marathon.
Wait,
Suck.
it's 3 triple 20s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's not just 3 20s. So we would come up with a fair distance. It would not be the regulation distance. We've established that. It would be a distance that is fair to having it be a possibility. So you're going to keep it?
Because what's the third one besides college football? Yeah, that.
Or you could do glitch plays,
But I don't want.
chat
I don't
would
want
kill
to.
you.
I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk getting marathon or LeBron.
I mean, the 9-darter would be electric.
Yeah.
Like, you getting a 9-darter would be an absolute would
And
be
I think the
scenes.
physical toll on my body.
Yeah. You might actually end up just getting really good at darts.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Okay, and then should we just say for fairness that you have to do the 9-darter before October 13th as well?
That's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And if I lose and I don't get into the Chicago Marathon for whatever reason,
You'll just run it.
I will run an alternate marathon.
Yeah.
No.
Prior to that point.
I think it'll be.
And then I'm going to bike around the
Chicago
entire
Marathon.
island of Manhattan.
I will as well.
Nice.
And then we're going to eat shit if Florida State loses their next game.
Yeah, that fucking coward.
It's crazy.
What a coward that I ate shit for the Capitals, and it wasn't
did.
even. It was after a win.
Yeah. This also just reminds me that when I pick my pinky team this year, I mean, every year it's in the back of my head, but
Just deactivate.
I have to fucking cut off the tip of my pinky. Okay, are we ready to go, boys? We got to also odds or evens on the lottery ball decide who goes first.
Hank, odds or evens?
Evens, please.
Okay. Hank has selected evens.
Pick a number 2, Hank. I'm going to take 8.
40.
And if you get it right, then you
Automatic
win.
win?
Automatic win, yep.
Automatic win?
3.
Means 3 does not count.
Oh,
43.
that would have been all time.
So, PFT, would you like to go first?
I would like to go first, Big Cat.
Okay, so get the timer up.
And we're doing a minute and a half, Hank?
You guys can take 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. Well, we haven't started. I haven't said the topic yet.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. We're going to do, because this Mount Rushmore season has been very fun, and we were thinking about all the moments and what was the moment that stuck out the most. How did you say it on the graphic?
What color is
Arguing
cheese?
about the color of cheese.
What color is cheese?
Yeah, what color is cheese? So we're going to do a color. We're going to do the Mount Rushmore of green. The boys are writing. The Mount Rushmore of green. What?
I'm just trying to think of who I want to do their punishment.
I think both are great. I'm excited about both. I actually would have dreaded if one of them had landed on LeBron. I would have been like, this is actually not going to be possible.
But the 9 darter could be just as
the 9 darter would be electric.
But the 9 darter I like because it could be so long, or it could he could
just be incredible.
He could just be a beast.
The fact that there's multiple ways to get it too.
Yeah. But it's not like you can mess up.
No, you have to be perfect. But like, think about the stream and having
like once he gets like the first 5 in a row,
right?
It would be so good. I want the 9 darter. The marathon would be funny, but the 9 darter could be
like the 9 darter is great just because it's
you get the moment.
You get the moment, and you also get like he'll have moments where he'll get 7 in a row, and then he fucks up.
There'll be so many moments for the yeah.
I want the best man to win.
Yeah, the 9 darter. I want to watch the 9 darter so bad.
Either way, we figured out. So next year we were talking about it. We'll do Mount Rushmore season, kind of like rivalry week. We'll have duel week, where we're all duel each other. So like Monday, like I'll duel Hank, Max will duel PFT. Wednesday I'll duel Hank or Max, PFT and Hank. So we'll do duel week. It's like the in-season tournament. Duel week will be electric.
Duel week will be electric. I fucking love the duel. I'm addicted to the duel.
The duel. I just went to sleep being like, duel, re-duel.
Re-duel. I woke up 9 seconds.
I was like the little LeBron meme. I can't believe this is my life. We're re-dueling. 5. Do you guys need more time? Do you need more time?
Time is up.
I'm good.
Okay. And obviously, I don't have to say this, but I'll say it just because we've had controversies. We're taping this, at 11:45. The poll's not going up till 2. Please, no funny business on Twitter with any tipping picks or anything.
I'm not going to tweet anything, just to be safe.
Yes. Hank, you agree? No funny business. And then we will all not look at our phones from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Yep.
And then we will find out live who has won the Mount Rushmore. Okay, PFT. You have first pick. What is your first selection for Mount Rushmore of green?
My first pick is going to be weed.
Whoa.
Taking weed right off the bat.
That wasn't my 1-1.
Marijuana.
Wow.
Green leaf. Reefer.
Wow.
Jazz cigarettes. Wacky tobacco.
Hank.
Just weed on the graphic. Weed. It's good for you.
On my graphic, I would just like the word cash.
Love that. That was my 1-1.
Cash is good.
Cash is good.
Cash is
not money.
Some would say
just cash. We got to have this clear.
Some would say cash is king.
Cash money.
Cash money.
Cash money.
Okay. That's smart. All right, so you have just weed, not marijuana.
2, I would like it on top of each other.
You want it marijuana or weed?
Now I feel like I'm being coached into saying marijuana.
So I'm just asking.
I'm going to stick with weed.
Okay, weed. All right, great. That's a good one. I like it. I just want to – we're just making sure there's no issues when we get to the graphic. That whatever is said in these white lines is going to be put on the graphic.
That's
no
fair.
changes.
That's fair.
Okay.
My second pick will be football field.
Good one.
I thought about doing sports fields.
No, football field.
But football field
is
better.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
That moment, we talked
strong.
about it, where you're walking through the concourse and you see the green through the cement.
It's a good pick.
This is a strong start to this draft.
Start. Both boys have been making the right
picks.
moves.
I gotta say, I'm deep in my own head though, because I didn't even have cash on my list.
That was my 1-1.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually, we had the
But
discussion.
it's 2 minutes,
Beforehand, we were like, we didn't want to pick a Mount Rushmore that had like a boobs or something and we had the discussion: is money too much of a 1-1? But listen, weed was a great pick. Hank, your second pick. Oh no, the lights are kind of going out over here. The lights are kind of going out. There's another strong one out there.
I don't have a lot. Kelly green jerseys.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm in a bad spot.
Okay. Okay. We were making the right picks until then. But
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, it's tough.
I
really don't have. I'm screwed.
Hank, I did have Kelly jerseys on my list, but it was way down there.
Yeah, no, I don't. My list is fucked.
All right.
PFT.
I'm going to go with Ireland.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Ireland's green, the Emerald Isle. That's what they call it.
What would you like on the graphic?
Ireland.
Okay.
How is Ireland green?
I think we went off the board here.
No, Ireland's a good pick. You're wrong about
How
Ireland
is it
being a bad
green?
pick.
Explain.
Ireland is known as being a green island.
Yeah.
It's green. They call it the Emerald Isle.
I can't speak because I don't want to have anything be changed or anyone think of things. We'll discuss after. Henry, your third pick.
Are you out of picks?
I just don't have any good ones.
There's one that I thought Hank would have for sure.
Wow, this is tense. The boys are stuck.
Ooh, he's got
Something happened.
no, it just went away. It went away.
He had it. He had it.
Latch back onto that, Hank. Whatever that thought was.
Chase
bring
that.
It back in.
Chase that thought.
I can just feel the nerves in
Yeah.
this room. It's
Chase the
giving me
thought,
butterflies.
Chase the thought, Hank. Find it. You have a good draft going right now with Cash
I really
Money.
don't.
Cash Money's a great pick.
4-leaf clover.
Okay. That's not terrible.
That's a pretty good pick for
It
you.
might be better than
I thought
Ireland.
you were going to go
Disagree.
much worse.
All right. I think this is going to wrap it up for me. The green jacket.
That's a good pick.
The green jacket.
That's a really good pick.
That's a
Yeah.
really good pick. I didn't think of it, and it's really good.
Did not think that was going to last this long.
That's a good pick.
I can't believe you went Ireland over the green
Yeah.
jacket.
Because if I knew that Hank didn't have the green jacket,
Yeah.
because if he did, he would have said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That might have wrapped it up.
Yeah, that wrapped it up. Congrats, PFT. I'll go with Nickelodeon slime.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick to just pull out of the air.
Yeah. So the reason why I was pushing back on Ireland, so that's it final, Nickelodeon slime. Okay. We were talking before, St. Patrick's Day, just picking St. Patrick's Day would have been a banger pick.
Yeah, I feel like Ireland.
I was waiting for that over Ireland.
Ireland contains St. Patrick's Day, but it's much, much more than that. I'm shocked that
Graphic
Hank,
St. Patrick's Day would have been a huge hit.
I think Ireland, just as its own, is good. But Hank, I am shocked that you took Kelly jerseys over Celtics uniforms.
I was trying not to tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had
Figured you weren't going to tip.
I had J-Lo's dress. Remember that dress?
Oh, yeah. That was a good
That
one.
was a great green dress.
Snakes.
Snakes?
Just snakes.
Yeah.
That's not a good pick. I'm just saying
Parrots.
green things. I'm just saying green things.
Parrots are good.
Avocados.
Yeah.
Hank, what are you writing?
I'm writing them. I'm writing them out.
You're doing a manual graphic?
What else? What memes? Did you think anything
Green
got
jacket.
left
I mean,
off?
that was a good pick.
Memes thought about the Jets.
Mr. Pear.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Pear.
Mr. Pear would have been good. Crocodile, dinosaur.
Dinosaurs are a big miss. Yeah,
Dinosaur would have been good.
Bogart.
I didn't want to. I was gonna be hot sauce all over again. But I was thinking like tropical water, tropical ocean water.
Yeah, that would have
For
not have
sure
made
blue.
It.
Yeah, it's blue.
It's blue.
Shrek.
But sometimes it can.
Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrek's a big miss
Shrek's
too.
a really good
Shrek's
one.
a great one. Damn. Shrek is a great one.
I think the Kelly green jerseys and the green. I don't know. Maybe think Philly will show out.
Watermelons.
I also think the thing that which I don't think it really played any factor, like people voting for certain people, but you having weed and me having Kelly green jerseys might, and you having green jacket might, sway people to think it's me, but I don't think that matters. I don't think that mattered. In
Yeah.
polls. Although, except for the Hank.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Oh,
Ninja Turtles would have been
big.
fucking dynamite.
Damn, if that would. Yeah.
Yoshi. That would have been
I think I got a shot.
Cash money is a big one.
It is. That's a good one. If I had to
And
do
four-leaf clover is a good counter to Ireland.
Yeah.
I would have taken
it's luck.
Knowing what I know now, I would have taken cash money 1-1 over weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tight.
I'm not.
Green Jacket might be the one that if you had gotten one other solid one, if you gotten like Ninja Turtles or something.
But football, Kelly, everyone loves the Kelly green jersey.
It's true.
I had football
stand
field.
up.
Football field, yeah.
Okay, boys. So we'll find out at the end in a minute, while you're listening to this in a minute, but in a couple hours here in real time, who lost Mount Rushmore season. Good work. We feel good about the reduel?
I think it's fair.
Same.
Okay.
And no graphic changes.
No, can you read off the graphics officially now?
No, I can't do that right now.
The other one we were thinking about doing, which we can just save for next summer, was one-time PMT guess.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good one.
We'll save that for next
I
summer.
wanted to do cheese.
Official graphic, Team 1.
Rushmore of cheese.
Official graphic, Team 1, weed, football field, Ireland, the green jacket. Team 2, cash money, Kelly green jerseys, 4-leaf clover, Nickelodeon slime.
I would like cash on top of money.
Yep.
I would like Kelly green on top of jerseys.
Yep.
4-leaf on top of clover. Nickelodeon on top of slime.
Oh, okay.
That is exactly how it is.
I like however memes and Shane formatted is good for me. I'm not going to be a pain in the butt and ask you guys to change things.
Okay.
Let's wait.
All right. Good job, boys. Okay. It's time, boys.
It is time. Oh,
It is time.
before we do it, do we want to address recurring guest, one of our best friends in the entire world, Jerry O'Connell? Last time he was on the show, I think we talked to him. One of the things we appreciate about Jerry is he's our guy, and he said that he had said no to all the podcast requests that he had in the past to talk about fantasy football. And this morning he was on Good Morning Football, talking about fantasy football.
Look,
The squad. Now he was adamant that doesn't count as cheating, and I agree with him.
yeah, he just did butt stuff.
I agree with him
Mouth stuff.
in the same way that, like, if his wife, Rebecca, came on our show without Jerry and talked to us for a long time, just, shot the bull, whatever, had a cool hang, that would be her cheating on Jerry.
No.
That would just be us becoming really good friends with Rebecca Romaine.
I saw this. It hurt me. I'll be honest. It hurt me a little.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it because I love Jerry, and I know Jerry. It more. I don't blame Jerry.
What if it keeps happening?
Then we're gonna have. No, you know what? Jerry can do whatever he wants. I'm not gonna put a restriction on Jerry. It's more that the Good Morning Football is just trying to rip us off. That's more what it is. But Jerry can be Jerry. I love Jerry. I'll never be mad at Jerry. I can never be mad at Jerry. And I actually wouldn't have even thought of it if he didn't. It was kind of foreshadowing. The fact that he was so proud of turning everyone down. We should have been like, that's weird. I didn't even think about it. Like, of course you can do whatever show you want. You're a grown man. But he bragged about it, and we were like, oh, this is great. He loves us the most, and then he went and did that.
If he never brought that up to us, then I'd be like, yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, of course.
Talk fantasy football all the time, whoever you want.
He basically was like, I'll never cheat on you.
Yeah. Now he's going to start suspecting us of cheating. That's what he's going to go on there and be like, I went on Good Morning Football and had the best sex of my life.
Yeah. I'm fine with it for Jerry's sake because he is a star and I love him.
Yeah.
I just wish that, whatever. We need to get, let's see. Oh no, River Phoenix, he's dead. Corey Feldman?
I think we just get Rebecca.
Corey Feldman still
I
alive?
think we get Rebecca on.
I'll just say some other actor from Stand By Me and just have them be our fantasy expert.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. We get Kiefer Sutherland.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah. Is Corey Feldman still alive?
I think so. Yeah.
The other
he's
Corey,
in a band.
The other Corey passed away. That's right.
Yeah, Corey Feldman's in a band. They sound like Limp Bizkit.
Okay, so maybe Corey Feldman's going to be our new fantasy expert. Yeah, I have no problem though. Jerry can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I love Jerry. Okay, it's time. Let's reveal.
Good luck, Hank.
So, Memes, you're going to tell us the percentages, and then you will tell us the teams.
And the stakes are, if I lose, I have to run a marathon. If Hank loses, Hank has to get a 9-darter.
And this is it. This is final. This is the Mount Rushmore
final
season.
This is PFT. Bring it on.
You think he did it?
Yeah.
You think he won?
I think I did too.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, percentages. The percentage. 25% to 75%.
Congrats, PFT.
Henry, you are the loser.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hank, he's taking off his headphones.
I thought it was going to be closer than that.
I did too. Where do we think it went wrong? Green Jacket hurt. Cash Money was a great pick.
Great first round pick.
Kelly Green jersey.
I just didn't have a lot of picks. I really had nothing. I was out. Shrek. But like, I don't even know what else. I had like Wrigley.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles would have been good.
What's going through your head right now?
180.
Listen, I'm gonna be there at that stream. Not the whole time, but there will be times I'll be there, and I'm gonna be pumping you up and rooting for you.
The fun part is going to be we can get some like dart players to come in and show Hank how to throw darts.
Yeah.
What if we got Michael Van Gerwen?
What if we got someone on the show? That would be awesome.
Oh, we should try and get like we did we got Pete Weber.
Yeah.
To do a celebrity. He gets a celebrity dart.
Oh, if you can get yes, celebrity dart. Can't be the last dart.
No.
But you can get a celebrity dart for sure. We did do that with Pete Weber. Yeah. You're going to do this.
I don't even think it's going to take that long.
I think you might do it right away.
I didn't know there were so many different
I
combinations.
don't think I've ever gotten two like triple 20s in 1 out of 3.
But you don't have
it's
to
gonna
do
be closer.
Yeah, you're going to be closer.
And there's the other combinations you can go for.
Listen, I'm ready. I'm ready to face a challenge. Congrats, PFT.
Thank you.
Do you think it's a little bit just because you were the grumpiest for Mount Rushmore season? This is not me asking. This is the AW.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bad Mount Rushmore season. I think it would have been a miracle if I hadn't lost. So
yeah,
I was happy I made it to a duel.
To a reduel. Even getting to a reduel was kind of a crazy run.
Yeah.
Double duel.
Yeah, we stayed alive. We fought till the very, very end.
You did. Any flags you want to throw?
No. I didn't even bitch. I don't understand. I wanted to end it last night. I said, PFT, just do it. And PFT refused and said, I have to do a duel.
I
wasn't like...
I wouldn't have been able to look myself in the mirror.
Yeah, PFT had a guilty conscience.
It was me. It was not Hank. Hank did not cry and ask for a reduel. In fact, Hank was yelling at me because I was trying to offer the reduel, and he just wanted me to stop talking. Hank was willing to accept the results.
People listened to that and still were like,
yeah,
just crying the whole time. So.
Yeah.
It is
but they're just jealous of the summer of Hank, which is over, and I'm taking the brunt of the blame.
Yeah, that's fine.
I also, I'm not going to say right off the bat, but there might be a situation where Hank may need to earn some mulligans.
What do you mean?
In the 9-darter.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
But like, we have to say that now.
Like 10. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think there should be like. There should be
some
hours.
twists.
There should be some hour benchmarks where, 10 hours in he gets a mulligan.
Yes.
12 hours in he gets 2 mulligans. 14 hours in, I agree with that.
Oh, that's good.
Because I think at 24 hours should be the cap, and we should get you there.
It'll be fun if
I'm not trying to have you there.
No,
I'm not having you there for 5 days.
And then this is the thing. This is where it's like you guys pick punishments. I'm gonna do it. I don't want to get bailed out. I don't want to be like, because then I'm not asking for this. You're saying this, and then you go,
okay, all right.
We're trying to think of what would make for an entertaining stream.
Yeah,
and maybe like Hank doing a dizzy bat, and then if he hits the board on his first throw, then he earns that mulligan after a couple hours.
There was also mulligans in the free throw stream. Yeah. That was a great stream.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
mulligans aren't bad.
Yeah,
it makes it exciting.
It does because
but the free throw stream couldn't have ended.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't have ended the free throw stream after 24 hours. We weren't going to just end that stream.
Yeah, true. No, yeah, so the 24 hours thing I'm wrong about, but you should get some mulligans baked in. That I think is fair. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, we're not going to do like he's saying there shouldn't be a cap on the hours because you're right. You're right about that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But mulligans may need
happen. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
If I got the number, will you switch?
Wow.
If you get the number,
I think it should be if anyone gets the number, they have to switch.
If you get the number, Hank, we'll switch, and I'll do the 9-darter.
No, I think it should be if anyone gets the number, they have to do it with Hank.
If I get the number,
I'm not going to get it, so I'm in.
if I get it, I'll also do my punishment.
Okay.
If I get the number, I'll do the 9-darter with you.
All right.
Yeah. 56.
8.
3.
18.
20.
What's Pug gonna do?
20.
No, 40. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Can't do that, Henry.
97 Pug.
40.
21.
Oh, God. No.
$10.
I saw that one and fucking.
I said 10 last show because of Ben.
Oh, that's right. You're right on it, Max.
Love you guys.